Alright guys, so it's week 2 and we need to go for our lab, and for that obviously, okay, I have some millions of links open here. Okay, so there's a lab that we need to create and obviously talk about the Exchange history as well. Now this is a unique environment because we're using Microsoft Azure. This is, well, first time I had to create Exchange environment on Azure. Well, I did that before as well, but for the companies, but for the training and where people have to follow me as well. So that's where challenges could be there. So we need to talk about then some of the history of Exchange Server as well, and then some significance, but then we need to start with the lab as well as soon as possible, so we could cover more ground. So first of all, about the Exchange Server. So obviously it's the backbone. The emailing is the backbone for any company's business, and there are many versions of Exchange Server, and this is one of the most the flagship product of Microsoft in terms of messaging environment, messaging or email environment. So there were older versions of that as well, Exchange Server 4.0, 5.0, and then 5.5, Exchange 2000. Very few, maybe here also, maybe you have, so one or two of you have experiences on older Exchange servers as well. So Exchange 2003, and then Exchange 2007, and then Exchange Server 2010 and 2013. So till last year we were doing in the lab as well Exchange Server 2013, and then there is Exchange Server 2016, and which is not mentioned here. So Exchange Server 2019 has also arrived. Although Exchange Online pretty much really covers a lot of those features now. Well, pretty much all the features Exchange Online covers. Many companies still have on-premises environment where they still keep going with migration of their mailboxes from the local branch or on-premises Exchange Server to cloud, which is Office 365, which is now called Microsoft 365 Exchange Online. Microsoft Exchange Online is, we're going to be covering that too. But how to deploy an on-premises, which definitely we are not on-premises right now, but how to deploy an on-premises Exchange server. So we're going to try to do that in Azure. So it's really unique circumstances where we're trying this. Hopefully it's easy for every one of you to follow. So this is that many Exchange server versions have been there, so you can also then realize from this that majority of the companies would have and had Exchange server. There were other messaging solutions as well, but this is by far the most popular, and its cloud version is also very popular. When we used to have Exchange server, previous Exchange servers, Exchange 2007 and Exchange server 2010, so they had a lot of roles there, and if you were to deploy the Exchange servers like this, so you would have to have either this many virtual machines. Nowadays it's nowadays it's cloud, but still the virtual machine based Exchange server. Yeah. Oh, thought there was a question. So I'll just mute all, but and you can just come to mic and ask question and then mute your mic, or you can ask questions on chat as well. So here it used to be a lot of roles, and by understanding those roles and then how the newer Exchange servers then combined those roles, but we need to just understand that what were those roles and what you used to do. So If you had deployed an Exchange 2010, Exchange 2007, well, from 2010 there were so many separate roles there that they have created. So what really happens in this, so obviously you have the infrastructure server that you have to deploy on a physical server or a virtual machine. Now obviously it's just a virtual machine here that we are deploying in our on-premises or local branch environment. So there's that DC DNS, domain controller DNS you have to deploy, and then there is Exchange server role. The first role is Mailbox role. We talked about that in the previous class as well in the introduction. So Mailbox role would be the role that would contain databases, and these databases would have all the mailboxes inside. So, and these databases have nothing to do with the SQL Server. SQL Server or SQL or SQL Server also has databases, but these ones have nothing to do with those databases. In SQL Server, you have a lot of data in rows and columns, and you can put all that data in a structured way. But in here, the Exchange Server databases, you put mailboxes. So all the users' mailboxes are placed inside a database. So first we deploy, we need to have a Windows operating system, so we deploy an OS, then we deploy this enterprise grade application. You can go for standard or enterprise package there, license or edition, and then you once you've installed Exchange Server, so it by default installs one database already and creates a mailbox for your default user. Suppose it's the administrator user or the domain administrator user that you have already created. So this is suppose DB01, and this is a default database, and default mailbox can be created here. So when you create a lot of users here, suppose there are 500 user accounts here in Active Directory. So you can create the database, you can create mailboxes for those users inside this database. So these databases have to be maintained. Obviously you need to create a copy of those databases as well. Suppose these are the databases which have your CEO's mailbox, your director's mailbox, senior manager's mailboxes. So that's why when you create a database, inside those are living mailboxes, and you need to create a copy of that. So normally this mailbox server role would be very critical. So you would have suppose two in fact mailbox server roles or three mailbox server roles. You can have a maximum of 16 copies of a database that you create. So suppose you create DB01 here, and that's the active copy, right? Active. And then you have this Exchange server 2, and then Exchange server 3, and you got the OS inside, and then you install the Exchange application here as well. So you create a copy of DB01 here as well, DB01 passive copy or standby copy, right? So passive or standby copy of database, so this is the active copy, and this would be the passive or standby copy. So all mailboxes that are placed here, suppose there are 100 mailboxes here inside this DB01. So their copies, any modifications in the mailboxes, any new emails that are coming would be obviously placed in these mailboxes for all the users, and it's they are saved inside the database that is DB01, and this database's copy is in another virtual or physical server, and DB01 passive or standby copy here. So everything is being replicated to another database with the synchronous replication. So what happens is that if this active copy goes down, then you can just create you can just activate this other copy that was passive or standby. It becomes active, which means that active means all the end users connections will be connected to the active copy, right? So mailbox server role is the most important role. So your employees mailboxes are all living inside the databases, and those databases are inside created inside the mailbox server role. Other than that, we have first of all mailbox server role. Then we have the client access server. So last time we have talked about that as well. So client access server is going to make sure that all the client connections are suppose you open an Outlook here, and that Outlook, so all users are either they're using OVA or Outlook Web Access, or they're using Office Outlook, and this software with this email client, you can just connect to your mailbox and then see all your emails there. So whether you're connecting from Outlook Office, which is installed as an application just like MS Word you deploy, or Excel, or you connect from OVA, which is Outlook Web Access or browser based access there. When you're trying to open Outlook by logging in and then double clicking Outlook, or just going to the browser and just putting that URL there, and it asks your username, password, and then it connects you to your mailbox. So these email clients will connect your mailbox. How? When the Outlook is, when you're deploying an Outlook, you have to give some kind of URL or address or NetBIOS name of the Exchange server here, or load balancer's name that connects to you to any of the Exchange servers there. So Outlook will try to search for, suppose it's Bob's Outlook, and he just clicked the Outlook, and first of all, is Bob a user of this Active Directory? So first that will be confirmed, and second thing is, okay, where is which Exchange server, which Exchange servers databases have, or database has the mailbox for Bob. So first, Bob's Active Directory identification is first is authenticated. Then it tries to go for this CAS server. CAS server is exactly, this is the function of that client access server. So the client wants to connect to the mailbox. That's the main intention here. So client access server says, oh, okay, Outlook, you want to connect? Okay, let me check. Oh, it's Bob's Outlook. Okay, so let me check. Oh, this Exchange server has in 3 databases, suppose DB01, DB02, DB03, and actually DB01 has Bob's mailbox. So it's going to connect to the correct Exchange server, then it's going to connect to the correct database, and then it's going to connect to the correct mailbox. So it will open that mailbox for Bob by searching, first of all, where is that mailbox living, on which Exchange servers or which database, and on which Exchange server. So client access server lets client access the server. Wow. Okay. So it just searches for the correct Exchange server, correct database, and then connects the user or Active Directory user to the mailbox. Oops. Okay, let me admit those. Okay, so this is for client access server here. Then there is hub transport server that we use to install. Okay, so there's that hub transport server, and hub transport server is this server is responsible for all the inbound and outbound emails, or emails in transit. So if we talk about this hub transport server, so all emails, we can say emails, so in transit. So that's the main thing. All in transit. So whatever emails are inbound or coming from out of your organization in to your organization, and then whatever emails are outbound. Okay, well, I'm writing with mouse here. So and outbound. So whatever emails are going from your organization outside of your to the internet and to other companies as well. So all those. Well, I need to practice you. So yeah, outbound email. So whatever emails are entering from internet to your organization, and whatever emails are leaving your organization to the internet, to wherever the destination is. So Hub Transport Server just makes sure that those emails are securely received from internet into your organization and sent to the correct exchange server, correct database, and correct mailbox. And whatever emails are being sent outside, so they are sent securely outside on time as well, from your organization to outside internet. So Hub Transport Server makes sure that your emails are being received and in transit. It applies some of the security measures there, security mechanisms there. There are many transport rules that we call, and those are all implemented by Hub Transport Server. So whenever emails are coming in and outside, going outside, so is there a redundant infrastructure? If the emails are coming in and somehow the connection is lost, where would you save those emails? Or if the emails are coming in and are they really secure? Are they encrypted? So all these configurations need to be checked. But it's all about email transportation that the Hub Transport Server role is responsible for. And then so that is, we were talking about this Hub Transport Server, and there is that unified messaging. Now that's old, and it used to be there. Then it became Link Server. The next name of it was Link. Then after that, Microsoft made Skype for Business, and now they have turned Skype for Business to online Teams. So Teams software, it's not software, it's a big application by Microsoft in Exchange Online, actually a part of Microsoft 365 package, where there's Exchange Online, there's Teams Online, which is now Teams Online is responsible for audio, video, and multimedia services attached to emails. So so unified messaging could be connected to your PBX or your telephone exchange or telecom. So from PBX you can, or a phone which is telecom. So from this you can connect all the, suppose somebody's calling and you're not there, and he or she left a message, so that message will be turned into voicemail. And if the unified messaging is connecting from your telephone exchange to your, just like voice over IP is connected, so it's going to be connected to your voice over IP network, and your voice message will be emailed to you. Or you want to have the conferencing, video conferencing there, audio conferencing there. So for that, you would configure that unified messaging, that whenever there's a meeting or conferencing, so you want to invite users to meetings and conferences, so there will be URL there in the mailbox that the users will click, and that would connect to the unified messaging server, which is obsolete now. The next version again is Lync, LYNC, then Skype for Business, and now the latest one is Microsoft Teams. So this would just connect from your telecom to your IT environment, and it would let you do meetings and conferences with within your email addresses. You will get the links and you will connect through unified messaging to any video streaming for conferences and audio conferences or meetings. So this Exchange Server unified messaging was separately installed as well, and then there's Edge Transport. Now when you deploy Exchange 2016, you will still see this Edge Transport here. So what is this Edge Transport Server? The main purpose of this Edge Transport Server is that it's going to be that security guard sitting outside or at the edge, or we can say that it's going to be between the two firewalls. It's going to be sitting there, and it's going to let all the emails first hit this exchange server here, which is edge transport server. So all emails coming from internet will be hitting this edge transport server, and there you will put antivirus, so all the security applications and software. So you will put antivirus here, anti-spam here, and you would go for anti-spam as well as anti-malware. So that has become so important nowadays because of ransomware attacks there. So all kind of security you can put here in anti-malware. So in the edge transport server, other than exchange antivirus. There can be IPS, which is intrusion prevention system. And there will be IDS, which is intrusion detection system. So you would put all kind of security there, IPS and IDS, intrusion prevention system, intrusion detection system. So all kind of security would be on edge transport server. Another main thing about edge transport server is that, well, in comparison with all other servers, now these servers, the mailbox server role, the client access server role, the hub transport server, and unified messaging, these are all going to be part of the internal network environment, offering services to all your end users. And obviously these will be there's an OS here, and then there's an exchange application, right? So everyone has an OS and an application, right? So the main thing is these will be joined to the domain, obviously. But edge transport server is not joined to the domain as well. It will, since it is inside DMZ, maybe you may have an idea about that. DMZ is demilitarized zone, which simply means that outside traffic should remain outside. There will be a firewall at the front, and there will be a firewall before behind the firewall will be your all internal environment. So there will be a firewall that is that the internet side of traffic, that is the traffic or inbound emails are going through this firewall. Then they have to hit this edge transport server where all the security is available, and then it goes, if it needs to connect, obviously the emails need to reach that mailbox server role, so they have to go through another firewall here as well. So firewall here and here, and this is called DMZ here, but you would just try to connect this edge transport server and put it in DMZ. First of all, do not join it to domain, and then you will be also not, it will, since it's not going to be joined to domain, it still needs to be connected to the mailbox server role. So you run some scripts and try to connect this standalone exchange server that is not even joined to the domain, that has full security software installed there. So it will be connected to your internal hub transport server. So first email will hit this exchange server, which is edge transport server role, and then it will go through this firewall, and it will reach this hub transport. Hub transport will send the emails to the mailbox server role. So these all exchange server roles are very critical. So that's what was there in Exchange Server 2010. Exchange Server 2013 had some of the roles mixed, and then Exchange 2016 even combined more roles, so you don't have to deploy 2 or 3 or 4 Exchange servers for each role. Because in this Exchange 2010, so suppose you deploy a mailbox server role which hosts your mailboxes inside a database, so you need 2 or 3 mailbox server role to make this redundant, right? If one mailbox goes down, one mailbox server role goes down, so its copy will be there. So the same thing you would have to do for the client access server. You would have to create 2 client access server role as well, So if one goes down, the other one could keep the show running. For the hub transport and for unified messaging, you would have to create two of those as well, so to keep them redundant as well. So already you have five servers, and then you have to make twos and threes of those. For mailbox server, you can even create 6 or 7 or maximum 16 of these roles, and you can create copies of this maximum. So the thing is that it was already, you're already outstretched with just single deployment of each role in separate machines, and then you have to make it redundant. So that's a lot of machines that you use to manage. So they in next versions, they deployed, uh, they combined the roles in one machine. So when you deploy a machine, you don't have mailbox server role and hub transport is in 2013, they were both combined in 2013. This we're talking about actually in 2010. So in 2013, mailbox server and hub transport server role were combined, and then the exchange server, the client access role was a separate server you have to deploy in a separate virtual machine or physical server, and mailbox server role in a separate virtual machine. I'm talking about Exchange Server 2013. You used to do that in Exchange Server 2016. So they also combined or merged the client access server role in one deployment of Exchange. So not only that you have mailbox role in one deployment of Exchange Server, you can have client access server role in one deployment, and hub transport was already merged in 2013 version of Exchange Server. So now you would see that you just have to deploy on premises just one Exchange server with pretty much all the roles inside, except for edge transport. What it does, it is supposed to be deployed in DMZ or demilitarized zone, and this is between two firewalls, one protecting from outside attacks and other protecting the inside network from further attacks there. So two layers of firewall, we can say. So edge transport server you will see in Exchange 2016 as well. Edge transport server you will see separate as a separate role in Exchange 2013 as well, and you already see that in Exchange Server 2010, in 2007 as well. So obviously it sits as a security guard, it secures all the emails, and then you get all the emails from those roles, right? So this is the explanation for these roles. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it's my youngest kid here. So yeah, the main thing is hopefully you get a brief idea about how many roles are there. So were there first of all, and still are there. The thing is that these roles were there in Exchange 2010, and they have Microsoft have been merging them into one deployment, and you don't have to deploy separately now. This used to be happening in older versions of Exchange, that you have to deploy it in separate machines. Now they have been merged all in one deployment of Exchange server, while the edge transport server is the only one that cannot be merged, obviously because of the security. Its only purpose is to secure all the emails within the demilitarized zone, or at the perimeter network, edge network, right? Perimeter network, you put that, it receives emails, it goes through all the security measures and mechanisms, and then it sends the email to just one deployment of Exchange, where client access server also lives here, mailbox server role lives here in one deployment, and hub transport server, they all live in just one deployment of Exchange. So you can make a copy of that. You can create at least two Exchange servers. They all, both Exchange servers are a copy of each other, and if one goes down, the other one can keep the show running. So that's just a brief introduction to what how the roles were created. Now sometimes well, maybe hopefully this diagram is not overwhelming for you. um, in another college, students were saying, "Oh, your diagrams were like, we would have headaches." I was like, "Seriously? You don't plan to go for jobs?" maybe those guys were rich guys and they don't need jobs. But if you want to go for jobs, you need to really understand what's going on, right? Okay, so I'll just put that in the explanation of all the Exchange server roles. And there's a diagram, so I'll be these details are in the slide as well that I'll be uploading. So, but this is just and it's being recorded as well, so you don't get to miss anything. Now, once we have this discussed, and again we get to know that there are so many versions here, and 2019 is just not written here, but it's also there, and then Exchange Online. So these are these are the roles that we talked about: Edge Transport role, Hub Transport role, Mailbox server role, Client Access server role, Unified Messaging. But these are just some brief or one-liners for that. We already talked about that, and if you go further down, then Exchange 2013 has two roles now. Now or whenever you deploy that, it has 2013 role. So one is Mailbox and CAS, Client Access Server, and other is Edge Transport Server. So already Hub Transport is gone, and you got two roles combined in that. And then Exchange 2016 has even further just one. You just see Mailbox Server role, CAS, and Hub Transport all inside, and then you have just Edge Transport. So it just is called in Exchange 2016 version as just Mailbox Server role. Here in 2013 it is called Mailbox and CAS, Client Access Server role. But there in 2016 it is called just Mailbox Server role, and it's understood that all other roles are merged inside, right? Talking about the some of the features or some of the design implementations there. So what we need to do then is to create our start creating our basic lab, and with that, on top of that lab, we're going to try to deploy our environment. So on this OneNote, hopefully everyone has this access to this OneNote, or is it shared with? Hopefully it's shared with you. If not, then I will click that share button, and I will just keep on adding your college IDs there. And so, guys, anyone has access to this? I think last time we may have talked about it, but hopefully you're all able to see the notes in OneNote, in your OneNote there. If not, then do let me know, and I will add you all there. So the good thing about OneNote is that whatever I put here is synchronized to your side as well in 2 to 10 seconds. So whatever diagrams I'm putting here, you should have access to that. And what we need to do for this. So first of all, for the lab,
Prof, mine is not connected.
So
Notebook is not connected.
So you're not connected to the Office
Notebook, yes.
Of George Brown?
Yeah, I already opened it, but I didn't find the note, this one.
Oh, okay. So anyone else who is not connected, or maybe everyone is connected to Office 65, so I'll be adding you there as well, if not added. So you can just put that in WhatsApp, the message that in the group that hey prof, my college ID is this, so your email, college email, and please connect me to this Office 365. So you can just put it on WhatsApp. So in the break or at the end of the class, I'll just add you. Or you can email me as well, or WhatsApp. WhatsApp is quicker, right? So guys, what we need to do is that we need to create a lab. The lab rules are, as I have already talked about. So let's create our basic lab, and the rules are that we will have 10 screenshots. So when we reach 10 screenshots, we're gonna end there. But you have to upload those 10 screenshots by the end of the class. If you have some irrecoverable error, then just take a screenshot of that and just let me know. And I understand that it's not that easy. So you're just troubleshooting, and it's not resolving. So you can take your time, and before the next week class, you can just upload that lab as well, and I won't cut your marks. So we will have 10 screenshots for our lab. We will do this step by step. So I will do the lab and you can follow me. So where I say, where I request to take a screenshot, then please take a screenshot there. Take a screenshot there and put it in MS Word. And at the end of the class, simply upload this MS Word with all screenshots on provided link on Blackboard provided link. So it will be on that. So Blackboard provided link, right? So you can just collect your screenshots and okay. So with all screenshots on Blackboard provided link, right? And so or if you got an error, so if you got an error, please don't forget to take a screenshot. Please do take a screenshot of the error. I can help you out for maybe 2 to 3 minutes, but we cannot stop the class as well, right? But I'm gonna give you enough time because this is being recorded as well, so you can just follow the video and simply upload that. But you must have a proof that why you were not able to upload today. Just take a screenshot of that, all right? And let me know what's going on. And don't just stay quiet. And if you don't upload anything, I can't mark you for that day, right? Okay, so here, if you got an error, please do take a screenshot of that error. Okay, so now that said, and obviously all labs will have marks there. So let's open our Azure portal that we opened in last class, and stay on the main page of the portal. So I will show you which page we're talking about. Okay, so there are two guys who I did not get notebook shared. Okay, so let's open our Azure portal. Stay. Okay, so okay, let's open our Azure portal. Stay on the main page of the portal. And am I recording that? Yes. Okay, so now what is our plan here? So what we're going to do is that I'll just put that our lab on Azure. So we're going to create two virtual machines here, and those virtual machines, first one will be so it will be wherever I put my name, guys, you have to put your name, right? So if I put my name Amir, so obviously you're not gonna put Amir there, you're gonna put your name there. If your name is long, go for half of your first name, or if that is, oh, okay, there's a student who's whose name is Amir. So I'm just gonna go for AMER, right? So Amir, you can go for AMIR, right? This is we're just gonna create two machines with the naming conventions, guys. This is very important that you follow the naming convention. When I ask for a screenshot I really need your name showing there in the background somewhere. So that's why we're gonna name the resources according to your name, right? So I could know that it's your lab. So okay, your first name, VM01, and then there will be IP provided by Azure Network, DHCP. So we will have our IPs provided by, they will be provided public IP and private IP. Serious, okay, it's teaching at home is, so public IP and private IP, right? Now, why there is a public IP, there will be a public IP and there will be a private IP. Obviously, it's not our private environment. Suppose we were in George Brown College, so we would have created our machines inside a VMware workstation environment, right? So there, obviously, we can just have our private IP without taking care of public IP. Okay. Okay, guys. This is public IP and private IP. So why public IP is there? So if suppose public IP is not there, right? Then how can we connect from our laptops or desktops to that machine? So the machines, both machines must have a public IP as well, so we could connect. But then obviously we need a private IP as well. Why? So these two machines need to communicate with each other in a private Azure environment. So suppose there's a public IP here, and that is suppose 86.34.56.901. I don't know whose IP is this. So, and there's a public IP here as well, and that could be 902 or 904 or whatever. But these are two public IPs, right? So if through public IP this machine tries to communicate with the other machine in Azure, so it has to go over the internet to do that, right? So that would not be using the private network. So, but when we are using our private IP range, which could be 10.1.0.0/16, and those IPs will be there and here as well. Then what will happen is that it will use the Azure backbone network. So with private IPs, it will use the Azure backbone network, which means that the traffic doesn't have to go over the internet to the other PC. You're not touching internet when you're communicating through private IPs to each of the machines in Azure, right? So that's the first thing that you need to know. And well, there's a long list of things because it's Azure environment, and so obviously we need everything. So we're gonna go slow. I'm gonna go slow, so nobody is stuck with that. But I know you guys are really smart, so hopefully you will be able to go ahead without any issues. But definitely issues will come. So once that's the first plan, that we're gonna create two virtual machines. There's a thing called resource group. So obviously we're about to use Azure environment. So we need to know some of the basics of Azure environment just to understand that on top of their data centers, we're about to create virtual machines. Whose data centers? Microsoft's data centers. We're going to use, so Microsoft has deployed their huge data centers across the planet Earth. So obviously, because I was about to take this name, region. Which region are we using? Then the question comes, hey, what is the region? What are you talking about? So obviously, for that, I just need to clarify this as well. So I'm just going to go for a brief introduction. brief introduction to this Azure. Okay, so here, if you see on what type of infrastructure we're about to create, so I'm just gonna go to this Azure infrastructure. So if I just type that, now AWS has created a better diagram to explain how how the data centers are deployed across the planet Earth. But Microsoft also has that here. So if I just go for Azure Regions, or I'll just go back to images here, so I can grab that quick diagram, Azure infrastructure, and okay, I'm serious. Let me just go back here. Sorry. So Azure Regions. And Azure Regions, and yeah. Okay, so guys, Microsoft has data centers across the planet Earth here. Microsoft has data centers in those areas which are business hubs, where there's a lot of industrial infrastructure, and there are a lot of businesses going on there, and they have their own data centers. So Microsoft has created all those data centers across those areas. You can see some of the areas don't have data centers. Well, Russia doesn't have even one. So, but the thing is that once these data centers have, let me just go with the terminology now, because I'll be using that terminology when we're creating virtual machines. So it should not be something, you know. In fact, as I was saying, that AWS has done a better job in explaining how cloud really works in a diagram, in an animated diagram. First understand that Microsoft has data centers across different, different areas of the planet Earth. But if I go for AWS and infrastructure, so let me just explain that quickly, then we'll go for the diagram. Infrastructure.aws. Infrastructure.aws. Let me just quickly explain that. So there are these regions here, infrastructure.aws. If you go there, so it shows you different regions. So what is a region? A region is that huge physical area which is isolated from, well, another region. So what does region contain? If I go to, suppose, North Virginia here, if I click that, so you can see that first of all, it's Amazon's network. Microsoft network is exactly the same. They have put their submarine cables here, or they have put their dug down cables there as well, and from different ISPs they have created that communication, their own basic network. But you can see there are some blue circles here. So these are called availability zones. This availability zones. So what availability zones are? They are separate physical areas where they can have 2 to 8 data centers, right? So region is a big area. Suppose you go for suppose this whole Ottawa, Greater Toronto area could be a region, or even Ontario could be one region. It depends on how they really divide the area. So this is a diagram here for global structure. If I click that, there is one region which is huge, which is isolated with other regions. So this is just a very big physical area. It is divided into availability zones. One availability zone contains multiple 2 to 8 data centers, and each data center contains 100,000 servers up to 300,000 servers or 400,000 servers. So each data center is huge. So there would be 2 to 8 data centers in different availability zones. So example of availability zone could be, suppose Ontario is a region, this much big area they have considered as a region, and then availability zones would be Greater Toronto area, then London area, and Ottawa area, or Greater Ottawa area. So that would be availability zones, because in each availability zone there are side by side, not side by side like really near, but after a few kilometers you can say there are data centers that are connected with each other with very good redundant infrastructure. So one region contains multiple availability zones. One availability zone contains multiple data centers, and then within the data centers, obviously, you can create your virtual machine. Suppose you create your virtual machine in East US region, so its copy you can create in West US region as well. Suppose there's a regional level outage. Region level outage is there, so the whole region is disconnected for some reason. So your virtual machine, you will fail over to the other region there. So if I go for home structure here and then drag, so you can see in East Coast you have North Virginia region, you have West Coast, you have North California region, right? So you can create your virtual machine here and its copy here, or you can upload your files and folders here and its copy can be in another region. Or you can go down to inside one region, you can have then this availability zones. You can see that two availability zones or two blue circles are together. Then there's a distance, and then two blue circles are there. So this is if for the replication. Suppose you have one Exchange server machine created in one availability zone. So you would want its redundant copy to be created in another availability zone here as well, right? So, and these two availability zones are nearby. This means their data centers are not that far. This means that any kind of replication going on would not have to travel on a great distance. So these two availability zones, then these two availability zones, and these two. So availability zones will then have those data centers under inside them, right? So this is how the whole cloud infrastructure that on top of which we are about to create our virtual machines. So when I say that, okay, we're going to go for East US region, so that would be on the globe, obviously, wherever the Microsoft, this is AWS's infrastructure, but the concept is exactly the same for Microsoft Azure and for Google Cloud, for Oracle Cloud, for Alibaba Cloud, or all other clouds, right? So we're going to create our virtual machines in East US region. So there, Amazon has their data centers, but Microsoft also. The other diagram obviously shows that this is Microsoft's diagram. So here in East US, there's Canada Central here as well. We're going to go for East US region. We're going to use that. Why? Because more advanced features for cloud are available in East US region, this one. In Canada Central, if you create a virtual machine, maybe you don't have a lot of features that we might need later in terms of redundancy features or any other features, right? So we're going to create those virtual machines in East US, and then we're going to choose also our availability zones, and then we're going to go with further features of a virtual machine, right? So this was just a brief introduction to the cloud, and we're going to be covering that in detail in the winter courses, winter 2021. So we're going to go for in-depth this, but you get to see that even now. That was the first time. Well, because of circumstances, we have to do that. Now, guys, this has been explained. So what I was saying here was that we're going to create two virtual machines, and these virtual machines have a public IP and will have a private IP. We can have another type of environment here as well, where if you want to create one VNet, your private virtual network inside, you can have one subnet that is public subnet, and the other subnet could be private subnet as well. So we can just create that way as well, but we're going to keep it simple because we're concentrating on Exchange server. In Azure course itself, in the cloud management course, we're going to go with the separate subnets as well. We're going to go for a lot of in-depth cloud configurations here. So we're going to create two virtual machines with public IP and private IP. That's first thing. Second thing is, obviously this machine has to have a role of Active Directory and its own DNS. Although DNS services will be provided by Azure Virtual Network, when we say VNet, so when we log into Azure, so you get to work in a private network environment. So suppose, when you log in, you will be working inside a VNet. So wherever we can create virtual machines inside Azure, we can create databases, we can create storages and networks or subnets. So this working area is called VNet, or your private network in public cloud, right? So we're going to be in our default Actually, we're gonna hmm, uh, this is the default VNet where we can work, right? But we're gonna create our own new VNet, right? And that new VNet, we're gonna create two VMs inside, two virtual machines. And first VM will be obviously the infrastructure role provider, so it will be a domain controller and DNS server. Second VM will be our member server and and member server, and it will be then later we're going to install the exchange prerequisites and then the exchange 2016. Now, why do we have to go through all this while we have exchange online actually, right? That's where the whole planet is going toward. Big companies, banks, all are moving towards exchange online. Definitely we're going to cover that too. But if you had to install exchange server, so this is something those who want to install it in their laptops later as well. Right now my suggestion is just follow me on Azure, but later you want, so I can share with you the previous year videos, previous class videos, where I've installed exchange in George Brown machines. So that's the same thing you can do in your laptops as well. Just let me know, hey prof, can you just give me access to the video where we can install exchange server, and I'll give you the software as well. And you can follow the video, it's all step by step and you can't miss anything. If you have any issues, then let me know on WhatsApp as well, or give me a screenshot for that, right? But we need to at least know that in a virtual machine environment, how do we really deploy exchange server, what are the prerequisites for that, and what are the precautions. So this is also called IaaS, or infrastructure as a service, where in the cloud there are IaaS, there's a SaaS model, there's PaaS model, platform as a service, and then there's software as a service. So we're going to go for two in exchange course, that is IaaS and SaaS. So in IaaS it is infrastructure as a service, infrastructure as a service, right? And in SaaS it is software as a service. So software as a service. The only difference between the two is that in infrastructure as a service, we can create our own VMs, storage, network, databases. This is our own data center, right? You can create anything you want, but you have to decide then what RAM you need, how much processor you need, what are the redundancy features you need, high availability features, backups. So you decide all that. But here in software as a service, software is already installed and being maintained in the background by Microsoft, right? So this means that you don't have to worry about the software there. So Exchange Server is just installed there, Exchange Online in Office 365 or Microsoft 365. You just create an account and you start using Exchange. You don't have to worry about the RAM, the CPU, the disks, and the high availability of the Exchange Server. You don't have to worry about any of those in SaaS model, right? So we're going to cover both because there's huge demand in the market for SaaS based exchange server skills. And infrastructure as a service, mainly it will be useful for you in the production environment, in on premises or local branch, where you have suppose Toronto branch and data center. The boss says, hey, can you deploy the exchange server? So this is for that. We would have done it on our virtual machines, but or our physical machines in college, as we know. The circumstances do not allow, so we're gonna still try to do that on Azure. Okay, so this is IaaS we're following right now, and we're gonna be creating our own separate VNet, and we're going to be creating the two virtual machines here. So let's try to do it, and there are proper ways to implement it. So okay, there's a question in WebEx, and that is my Windows 10 is home edition, which doesn't support RDP. I tried to connect to VM last day, it didn't work. Ouch. Windows 10 home edition does not support RDP. Really? Well, because it's going to be a remote desktop connection, do you have VMware Workstation installed? Amir, do you have VMware Workstation installed? Okay, so inside you can install a server or Windows 10 professional virtual machine, and from there you can RDP into internet. Paul says get an open source client. Oh, or you can go for VirtualBox from Oracle. That is free. And then, oh, open source client means for RDP connection you're saying, or just for the creating a virtual machine. So yeah, you can just go for RDP. Okay, that's good. Well, you can also give some site reference, and Amir could try that. That's a very good idea. So, okay, guys. Now the steps that we're gonna take here is we're gonna go to the Azure Portal. Now there's in Azure there's a very cool feature called Resource Group, and the main purpose of resource group, well, this is going to be very useful for us, and oh, free RDP. Oh, thank you, Paul. Nice. So that's free RDP, remote desktop protocol limited. Nice, thank you. Okay, so okay, as I was saying, let's create a resource group here, and in the resource group, what does resource group do in Azure? Resource group, it helps us organize resources. That's the first thing, right? I.e., so what are resources? Virtual machines, or storage accounts. Suppose you want to upload files and folders in large scale. Databases. So you need a resource group, and it organizes. So suppose there's a project for Toronto, there's a construction going on, and you create a resource group where you will be creating virtual machines, or maybe 20 virtual machines for that project, and 2 storage accounts for the project, and 5 databases, right? So you will create a resource group there, RG, and then maybe you can name it Toronto TP, Toronto project, and then 20 VMs there, and then so on, storage accounts there, SAs, and then databases, GBs there, right? So what happens is that first of all, yes, you organized it. Second thing, if the project finished, you want to get rid of all the resources. So you don't have to go one machine deleted, second machine deleted, or you don't have to go to virtual machine dashboard and select all the machines and delete them, and then separately go to the dashboard or storage account and then to the databases and delete them. You can simply delete this resource group once, and all the resources attached to this resource groups will be deleted automatically as well. Just like if in Active Directory you know about organizational unit. So well, in terms of organization it does that, but any resources attached to this resource group gets deleted when you simply delete this particular resource group. So that's very good for us as well. Well, for Microsoft Azure offers that, and it's so suppose you have another project going on. Suppose the new set of resources are for a different purpose. You can create a resource group separate for those resources. So we're going to create a resource group here, and we're going to attach all our well, we will have 2 virtual machines there. We're going to attach those virtual machines to this resource group, and well, at the expense of George Brown, obviously. Like they will be, it's a free account. I don't know how they will charge and what will happen, but the thing is that we're gonna try to create all this, and hopefully it works. Otherwise, we'll have to switch to Exchange Online, right? It seems to be working, but in your accounts, free accounts, and uncharted territory is also always kind of that situation. So because the labs are heavy, that's why. Otherwise, I've done so many labs and projects there, so they just cost the company. If they keep on paying, I can just create anything, right? Here it's free. So okay, free comes with limitations as well. So hopefully there are not any dead ends there. So resource group here, and it helps us organize resources. That's done, right? So let's create a resource group first. And now this all can be done in PowerShell as well. Every step that we're going to do can be done in PowerShell as well. But with PowerShell, normally you can do 20-30 tasks even in one go. Better do in graphical user interface now, and then once you're good with that, you understand exactly what's going on, why we're doing what we're doing, then I would suggest then come up with PowerShell scripts for all those tasks as well. There are thousands of PowerShell scripts created by geniuses out there in the internet, and you just test it, run it, and everything gets created automatically as well. It's so much automation. So first thing, we're going to create a resource group, then we're going to create a VNet, then we're going to create virtual machine, and that's where the that careful work starts. That Exchange server is a very sensitive application. If anything is misconfigured, it's going to give you a lot of errors. So we need to make sure that everything is in place before we even start to deploy the prerequisites of Exchange server and finally the Exchange server. So it's going to be, this lab will keep on going. We're going to try to build on top of that as much as we can. The main objective is, if we can reach, I don't guarantee that. Maybe we can reach. I'll try my best to do that. The task was given to me on a kind of short notice there, because they said that they will make available VPN, and in very few days back they said no, there's no VPN. So there are so many other projects going on. So our ultimate objective is, this is DC, this is Exchange 1, this is Exchange 2, and if we can pull off that DAG diagram, so database availability groups here, right? So in production environments, you will really need to know that. Otherwise, I have the videos from previous courses where we have implemented DAG, then we have done the crash test as well. We crashed one Exchange server, and we had our mailboxes highly available on the other Exchange server and accessible. So we need to reach here. Hopefully we do. Otherwise, we're going to switch to Exchange Online, which pretty much has all the features. Okay guys, let's start doing that finally. I'll just create a screenshot of that so you could see all that in your in your OneNote. So first step, now I'm inside, well, not inside, but now I'm inside the portal. So hopefully you're all inside the portal here. And inside the portal, guys, I'm going to be, in the total class time, I'm going to be asking for only 10 screenshots. It used to be 70 or 80, but that was ridiculous, I realized later. 10 screenshots only, but of specific areas. Okay, if you're inside, everyone is inside, I'm going to be requesting at any time. So hopefully you're going to follow with me now, and you need to upload those screenshots at the end of the class. If you're uploading without any reason tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, then it will be considered late. So today you have to upload that, right? Unless you have a reason, I'm flexible. I'm open to just give me a proof and you're good. Okay, so here, guys, I'm going to go to this portal menu here. Hopefully you're all there. And I'm going to go to the left side portal menu. Then we're going to go see this. There are favorites here, all resources, resource groups, app services. Our, what we are interested in is resource groups here, and virtual machines and virtual networks. Now, this is unfortunate that we don't have in the free version, the free version that was provided to these colleges, Humber College, Durham College, Georgetown College. Microsoft did that, so they did not offer Active Directory, right? So that's unfortunate. You need to use Active Directory. You need to have account with credit card connected there. Well, in our lab, we will manage to stay away from that, and we'll still have our own Active Directory. So first, let's go to this resource groups here. And once we click the resource groups, so now ignore that I have these resource groups here, and we're going to go for add button here. So why are we creating resource groups? In order to organize all our resources that we're about to make, in order to organize them, right? So once we click the add button here, so this page should come to you, and be careful with every step. One small step wrong or different, and you might have different results or errors. So resource group name here, it can be your first name, not my first name. Okay, I'll go for ER. So your first name, and that's then GB and your first name, GB, and then -RG. Now this is your resource group. In fact, we can just give a date here as well, 15Sept2020. It could be some meaningful name there. So your first name, not my first name, your first name, GB-RG 15Sept2020, right? Once you have given this name here, and then if you don't see East US already selected here, then just click here and go ahead and so suppose maybe you're down here somewhere, so you can go up, and you will see the region East US. Again, why East US? Aren't we in Canada? So yes, we are in Canada, but East US has the most features available. So we are connecting to Microsoft's data centers in East US. So obviously when you create a virtual machine, its timing will be different as well. So don't put that timing to Canada Eastern time, because that's going to be East US or the New York time or something like that. Okay, so East US, once that is configured, then we're going to click the tags. Let's click the tags here, and then we can just give it a name so in the name value you can just put some the word name, and here you can just put this resource group for GB Exchange Lab. Resource group for GB Exchange Lab could be the name. Well, that's a long one actually. So normally what is tags used for? Department, sales, branch, Toronto, manager, whoever, right? So we can just put that here, resource group for GB Exchange Lab. Once you have put that as a name, then let's click review and create, review plus create. And this is the validation passed. And surprise, maybe majority of you have already clicked the create button, but if you have, let me know in the chat. If not, then please take a screenshot of this screen. That would be your first screenshot out of 10 screenshots. What was the name beside value? Yeah, see this? I'm just going to go back. Resource group for GB Exchange Lab. Resource group for GB Exchange Lab. I'm going to Control C, and I just put that here as well. Here in the name, so you're not able to click that name, this one, like you click on and let's put the name there. No, I can't click on the left. Oh, okay. To the basic tab. Okay, if I go to the previous, this is where it started. So in my case it's pay as you go. Maybe in your case it's not. It maybe showing student account. Screen scare. That's why. Oh, go back. So I'm just looking at all the comments here, and let me know if you're okay with that. If you're okay, you can just type there, I'm okay now. If you're not okay, then just explain that, or you can come on mic as well, and we can sort it out. So resource group this, and East US this, then I click the new next tags, right? And then I just click this name here, and I put some information here. Hopefully you're able to do that. Otherwise you can click cancel here and then go to portal menu again like this, and go to resource groups again like this, and just click the add button. You will be back on this screen, right? Let me know if it resolved. So okay, so once you've seen that, I'm gonna click tags. If there's no comment on chat, so this means I would have to assume that you're okay. So I'll just go ahead, unless you want to say something, then I'll stop. So there's that review plus create. When I click that review plus create, and don't worry, don't be frustrated on anything. I'm here to help you. I'm gonna go slow. We need to be all on the same page. Hopefully nobody's stuck for very long. Gideon says, what do we put in the namespace? Yeah, see this? Previous. In this area, we put the name, just put the name spelling. And here, resource group for GB Exchange Lab. I put that already, I copied that there. I'll just copy in the WebEx chat again. This is what I put. Resource group for GB Exchange Lab, right? Resource group for GB Exchange Lab. So this is what I put in WebEx chat. Then we click review plus create, and this would be our first screenshot out of the 10 screenshots, right? So just to get used to this, later when we are used to all this, we're gonna go a bit faster. But right now, I understand. Please ask me anything. But yes, for these screenshots, obviously, any screenshot missing, you lose a mark. So, but for these screenshots, you will get the marks. Okay, guys. So if you've taken a screenshot here, now what happens is that the screenshot name, you have to name that screenshot as well. So I'm gonna give that name to you, and I'll take a screenshot myself here just to show even later when you're following that what area screenshot I took. Now obviously you cannot use my screenshot because my name is mentioned here, right? So your name will be mentioned in your screenshot. And see this, I'm putting it, you have access, you all have access, or majority of you have access to this, and those who don't have, I'll just try to give it in the break or after the class. So I'm going to put that you need to give a title, screenshot 1, and this would, so we're going to count till 10, and that would be it, right? Okay, Paul says, can we just take a screenshot of the resource group after it's made? Yes, Paul, it is also okay, as long as it shows your name. Hopefully it's showing your name. So screenshot number 1, and that is resource group for, well, resource group, that's it, right? Screenshot 1 name is resource group, and I'm putting this screenshot here. This is screenshot 1, so it should be like that. That's it, right? But yes, if you have created a resource group, that's also okay, as long as it shows your name. So that's screenshot 1. Let's go ahead. And I'll just, okay, here. I'll just close all others. Okay, so I'm just gonna click the create button now, right? Hopefully everyone's there. So let's click the create button. If you've taken the screenshot, let's go ahead, and it gets created right away. And yep, it shows like this. So obviously your name is showing there, so that's good. And once the screenshot, once the resource group has been created here, oh, Gideon says, go back please. I wish I could. I've created that. So Gideon, where are you stuck? You can also put your screenshot of your screen on WhatsApp. That's why we created the WhatsApp group. And I can tell you right away that what to put there if I could see where you are. In WhatsApp group, you can quickly share. Oh, you're good. Okay. Gideon says group. So yeah, let's keep going now, guys. And don't worry, I'm here to help you. And if you're stuck somewhere, let me know. Or if you need more time, let me know as well. I'm totally flexible with initial labs. Okay, so here, once the resource group has been created, now we're gonna start creating resources. So the first resource, so I'm just creating this diagram, and then I'm gonna create a diagram where we are, as we progress. So I'm gonna still keep creating that diagram so we can understand where we are. So we created a resource group. Let's go ahead, and that's the first thing. And second thing is, let's create a VNet. Let's create a VNet. When you create a VNet, this is your custom virtual network, your private network, as if you were in a office. Suppose there were 20 employees there, and the boss called you and said, there are 20 machines here, 20 desktops here or laptops. Can you connect them to our private network with a private IP? So we're about to do that. Let's create a VNet or virtual network, our private network in the cloud, right, in the public cloud. So and attach it to this RG or resource group. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna attach this. Then we're gonna keep on going for, let's create 2 VMs and attach them. There will be a lot of things that we need to understand, but attach them to this RG. So what we created. So at the end, we would know that, oh, this is a resource group, and we can delete the whole resource group. Don't delete that resource group until I request. So okay, guys, let's go for the VNet. How do we create a VNet? I'm just gonna go back here to the portal, and in the portal, it's already the resource group is created. We go to the portal menu here, this one, and you can see, yeah, resource group we created. But if we go down, down, down until we see this virtual networks, so let's create our own virtual network on the left side. Hopefully everyone's there, and I'll click that. In the virtual network, ignore that I have two and you have none. So I'm going to go for add here as well, because those two virtual machines, we need to have some kind of IP range given to them. So I'm going to click the add button in the virtual networks, and then let's go ahead and create. You know, at any point here, I would ask for a screenshot, so just be with me. Maybe I've put that Einstein rule already. If I no click, you no click, right? And this is also for screenshots. So first of all, it is asking any resource you create, it is asking, hey, do you have a resource group? If you haven't created that, then you can create one, but we already created that. So just drop down and you should be seeing your resource group now. So let's select that resource group here. And this means we are attaching this resource, which is a virtual network we're creating here. So we need to name that virtual network here. So in the name, you can just go for your first name and then dash vnet, right? Simple. Your first name dash vnet. Make sure it is East US. Make sure it is East US region. So once you have given this information, let's click next. Hopefully everyone was able to do that. And let's click next. IP addresses. So we're going to go to that. In the IP addresses, you can see that it's giving, oh, okay. So you might be seeing 10.0.0.0 here, right? And I'm seeing here 10.2.0.0, right? Well, I already created something there for 10.0.0. Then I already created something there for 10.1.0.0. So guys, my suggestion is that in order to keep the configuration consistent, right, similar, so just put, if you see 10.0.0.0 here, so just change that 0, just select that 0 here and put 2 here. So all our configurations are okay. If you think that you're not going to be confused in future, hey, my machines are saying 10.2.0.4 for first machine, 10.2.0.5 for second machine, teacher's machine is saying that, while your machine is saying 10.0.0.4 and 10.0.0.5. If you're not going to be confused with that, then you can keep whatever you want. But otherwise, to be consistent, if your IP is different than mine, it's okay. I understand, it's okay. But don't be confused. But my suggestion, keep it this way. 10.2.0.0/16 will have 65,000. It's a class B address. It will have 65,535. You can have that many machines there. And then it is, when you're creating a VNet or virtual network, it always creates a default subnet for it, right? So automatically the IP for my default subnet is 10.2.0.0/24. So this means that at least 254 machines can be here, but you're going to see the available IP would be 251. 4 IPs will be taken for management purposes. So this is the default subnet, but we're going to go ahead and click that default. Let's click on top of this default written here. Once you click that, so on the right side you see, yep, I don't have a default amount. Okay, you don't? Oh, okay. So, okay, that's no problemo. Guys, see this? There's an add subnet here, right? Let's click. Thank you for letting me know that. So let's click the add subnet. And if I click the add subnet, so it shows me this screen, right? If I cancel that and click the default subnet, it shows me this screen. So pretty much no difference with that. So I'll go for add subnet. If you change the IP to 10.2.0.0, it removes the default subnet. You will need to add it again. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Cameron, for sharing that. So my suggestion would be to keep it 10.2.0.0. because in future I don't want anyone to be confused. But thank you, Cameron, for sharing that information. So guys, I'm gonna click the add subnet here as well, and this is how it looks like, right? So actually we need to rename. So even though I had default subnet, so I needed to change its name, right? So you can just go for your first name subnet 1, your first name subnet 1. Okay. If you change the, yeah, and then Hamid says this was our first name plus what? Oh yeah, exactly. So subnet 1, your first name subnet 1, the name. Is that the question? Am I answering correct, or is the question something else? So I'm just trying to change the name here, and obviously the range has to be placed here as well, which is 10.2.0.0/24, right? Now don't worry if I see, okay, so don't worry if you see an error here, because obviously this is already created for me. I'm just putting it for you, right? This is information you need to put, right? If you have placed this information, I'm gonna you can just click the add button, right? If you have placed this to, there's nothing to do with services here. We're not gonna connect this machine to any other service. If we had to, we can just add it later as well. Like suppose you want Azure storage to connect to the VNet, then you can add that service. But right now we don't need that. So if you put these two information there, then you can go ahead and click add. I'm going to cancel out. Why? Because I already have it. I'm just going to change this already. I'm just going to rename it to what you just renamed. Amir subnet 1. And yep, that's it. So I'll just click save. You have clicked add. I have clicked save. But we should be ending it with the same results here. So just guys, see that up there 10.2.0.16, here 10.2.0.24. If that exactly looks like the same, you're good. Let's click security, right? Hopefully everyone is okay. So let's click no screenshot. Oh, hey, if we take all the screenshots now, then 10 screenshots will be done, and then we have to end the class. So yeah, I'll tell you where to take the screenshot. So let's click security here. Now in the security, you can see that there's Bastion host, there is distributed denial of service protection standard, DDoS protection standard, and then there's a firewall. So these are really obviously Bastion host. First of all, means that it is like a jump box. So just the concept behind that is that suppose you have two subnets here, subnet 1 and subnet 2. So subnet 1 can be public subnet, right? Which means that you can connect from internet to this, and this could be private subnet. We're gonna do that lab in our winter course. So Dylan says, wait, did you check the box for subnet? Oh, did I? Did I not? Okay, so I'll be going back as soon as I explain that because you know, it takes time to create those screenshots, but I'm definitely going to check that. And that's a very good point, Dylan. I'm just going to check that. Okay, so Bastion host, guys, let's quickly understand that. Bastion host just means that there is one virtual machine that is also called jump box. So in order to go to these backend machines, suppose these are databases, these are web servers, these are file servers that you need to connect. So these are in private subnet with private IP addresses. If these machines have private IP addresses only, then you cannot connect directly to these machines. You have to connect to the public machine, and from there you need to RDP into the private subnet, because this subnet will only accept traffic from the subnet 1. It will not accept traffic from internet. So only this subnet will accept traffic from internet. So what happens is that Bastion host just means that you create a subnet where the whole traffic will be connecting to, in order to go from here to the private subnet. Suppose you have multiple subnets here, you can create 100 subnets there, and you know, those sorry, you can create 1,000 subnets here. Sorry, 1,000 subnets you can create here. So suppose you have hundreds of subnets here, and then but this is the only way you can connect. So Bastion host just means a jump box or from where you can connect. I'm just gonna quickly take a screenshot of that. Some of this I will be explaining in winter courses as well, which are purely cloud management courses. Okay, I'll just go back here and take a screenshot of what I explained. Did I not copy that? No, paste. Oh yeah, right. Okay, so, oh yeah, where was I? Yeah. So now, guys, I'm gonna click the previous button here, and oh, I did not select it. Thank you, Dylan, for that. Guys, go previous, select it. Go previous, select it. Make sure that you have selected that, and we're not going for IPv6, so we're not gonna select that, but go ahead and select this. If you have selected, if you've all selected that, click security again, but make sure that you've selected that, otherwise you will have to create that subnet again. Okay, so Bastion host is disabled. We don't need that Bastion host. This VNet, we will be able to connect to our virtual machines directly. Second thing is distributed denial of service protection standard. So there's a standard DOS attack or denial of service attack, prevention, and then there is a you can enable that. There's a basic one and there's a standard one. So if you want to enable the standard one, they will charge you for that. Otherwise, you are already protected with the basic type of denial of service attacks. There are 9 or 10 types of attacks there. Okay, firewall. Obviously, in production environment, you will go for firewall, but they also charge you monthly for enabling firewall. So, and it has really good, stateful firewall. It does a lot of protection. Very cool mechanisms are there. So we're gonna discuss that when we go to the cloud course. Okay, right now, make sure they're all disabled. Do not enable any of those, and click next tags. So once you click next tags here, so here you can just type the name, and then in the value you can say creating a VNet for GB Exchange Lab. That's a long one. Creating VNet for GB Exchange Lab. You can just put any information here. This is just for the purpose. So creating VNet for GB Exchange Lab. If you have placed that here, then click review plus create. Then click, I'm just going a bit slow so everyone catches up with that, and review. So guys, whenever we are on review plus create, never click create, because one time you can miss, second time, but third time then that would not be good. So guys, make sure that where your name is showing, yes, name is showing in 2 areas here. So take a screenshot, which will be the second out of 10 screenshots. So take a second screenshot now. So VNet being created. So we can just name it VNet being. So take a screenshot of this page, take a screenshot of this page, and what is the name of the screenshot? So I'm gonna put screenshot.
Please, can you go back a little, please?
Sure, I'll do that. VNet being created. Let me just write that. And I'll go to this. So see this, guys? Previous. Yeah, where do you want me to go? This?
Yes, from here.
Cool. So it's creating VNet for GB Exchange Lab. If you have written that, okay, Amit says it is this virtual network 10.2.0.0/16 doesn't have any subnets. Why? Did you select that? Hamid, did you select that checkbox for subnet? Because it will create one subnet there. If you don't have any subnet, so if I go next, where do you see? So where did you realize that you don't have subnet? It's supposed to be /24. Yes. Oh, okay. So at the end, it is not showing. Yeah, it is showing subnet. See this? Yeah, /24. Yes. In the add subnet, we have given. So let me just show you that screen. Amit. This is the screen, and we selected this checkbox, and we gave this subnet a name. The IP range we gave that to. So hopefully you've given that to. So how do you give that? It's just click add subnet, and then put that name here. Your first name subnet 1. I don't have those boxes. then click that add subnet, this one. So once you click that add subnet here, and then give a name, your first name, subnet1. Thank God, it's good that you noticed that. Otherwise we would have gone ahead. So guys, do try to pay attention to every step. One small step missed and your lab will be messed up. Just let me know then how messed up it is. Take a screenshot of the mess and as a proof, and then I can give you some time to, you know, you just follow the video then. Okay guys, if so I'm just gonna cancel that. Hopefully you have given the proper IP 10.2.0.24 here and given the name, and then click the add button. That's all. And make sure that you select this checkbox, and then you go for security here. The rest should be okay, hopefully. And yes, disable on security. Nothing there enabled. Tags, you must have written that already. Review plus create. So this is a screenshot that we need. If you've taken that screenshot, so I'll just take that screenshot now. The title of the screenshot is VNet being created. So that's the title here. And the screenshot is on OneNote as well. So your screenshot should have your name. So screenshot 2, VNet being created, and the screenshot is going to synchronize to your OneNote soon. Alright guys, oh, why do I go away? So I'm just gonna go to, yeah, so once we are done with that, it says the subnet address range 10.2.0/16. No, Hamid put /24. For subnet, it has to be /24. No problemo. No problem. And then yeah, go to the last page and take a screenshot. So guys, those who are done and taken the screenshot, go ahead and click create. Those who are done, took the screenshot, go ahead and click create. So I'm just keeping this screen. So hopefully everyone is there now. So go ahead and click create if you have done the screenshot already. Hopefully your subnet is showing there and your resource group is showing there. So let's click create, right? So I'm about to click create now. Hopefully everyone's reached there. So create, okay. So now VNet is being created, and you can see on the top right here, there is a bell icon, right? So if you click the bell, so it shows you what has been done successfully and is it still in progress. So you can see that line going on, so this means that it is still ongoing, so don't expect. Now deployment succeeded is there. It also shows you go to resource or pin to dashboard, which is your portal main page. So if it is created and the bell icon, you can just click there and it says deployment succeeded. So that's the VNet that got created. We can click the go to resource as well. You can go click the go to resource. I'm going to click the go to resource, right? So if I click the go to resource, well, this is the VNet that we have created. That is a resource. So if I go back to my diagram here, well, what diagram? Yeah. So I'm just going to create one. So we have created a VNet now. VNet, right? And so, well, we have named that VNet, your first name VNet. And then what we're going to do is we already have a VNet, then we have a subnet here as well. So I'll just create that subnet as well. And that subnet is also your first name subnet1. And the subnet has the range of 10.2.10.2.0.0/24, while the VNet has the range for 10.2.2.0.0/16. So this is what we were able to do till now. So we're going to go ahead and now try to create the first machine, and we need to concentrate on creating the first machine. In fact, we're going to create 2 machines there now. So let's do that and then come back here. But let me just create that structure. So 2 virtual machines that we are about to create. So obviously that would be your first name VM01 and your first name VM02. There will be some more terminology coming your way, so we're going to discuss that on our way. So this is what we're about to create. Let's do that. So I'm going to go to the portal menu here, right? So we've created the resource group, we've created the VNet. Let's go to the portal menu and then go down to this virtual machines. So let's create our virtual machines now. And once we're there, so ignore that I have 4 virtual machines there, and you can also see that, well, while you're ignoring, you can also see that stopped and deallocated. Now, if I'm not using those, so I can stop those machines and they get deallocated, which means that they will not be charged. You will not be charged for that. So in production environment, this is the case. Here it's free, and my suggestion would be, yes, make sure that at the end of the class at 8 o'clock, please stop all the machines, well, whatever number of machines we create, and deallocate them. Why I created 4 this? I was just testing different things for different labs, for other courses as well, and this one as well. So I'm just going to click that add button here. Let's click that add button for the virtual machine, and then you get 2 choices here. We don't have already some created machine or image, so we're going to go for our virtual machine, the first one here. Let's click that. Once we have clicked that, so the same wizard, same type of wizard starts for creating a virtual machine. So first we created a resource group, then we created a VNet and a subnet. Now we're creating a virtual machine number 1. So obviously the resource group, we need to attach the one that we created. So this resource will also be attached to this resource group for organization purpose. Second thing, at the end, we can only delete the resource group and it will delete anything attached to it as well. So make sure you select the resource group here, and then we go for your first name VM01, your first name is VM01, and then there is the East US. All the resources, majority of the features are there by Microsoft. So East US, make sure all previous resources had East US as well. Well, your screenshots will tell me. So availability options are there. Now we do not need those availability options, and but yeah, when you create a resource in Azure, obviously what kind of high availability are you looking for here? So there's that availability set here, and then there is availability zone here. So availability set is that suppose you have, so let me just quickly brief the 2. First of all, availability zone, let me just draw this here. So I told you about region, so that is the largest area here that they decide according to the business usage. And then they have availability zone 1, availability zone 2, availability zone 3 and 4, and so on, right? And then AZ3, suppose. Now in those availability zones, they have data center 1, and each data center has 100,000 up to 300,000 machines there. So that's huge data centers already. DC2, DC3, 2 to 8 data centers, right? So all these data centers. So what happens is that if you go choose the availability zone, this one, so then it offers you that, okay, your virtual machine will be created. So your virtual machine will be created here, and its copy will be created across the availability zone. So one availability zone could be, we can just compare it with, suppose it's a GTA. Greater Toronto area, this much area might be more or less could be given to one availability zone. Then the other availability zone could be, like London and or the Ottawa area. So and they have their own data centers there. Sometimes it's not that far, but the thing is that your virtual machines will be, there will be a copy created here. So that will be the active one, that would be the standby or passive one. So availability zone feature helps you create virtual machines across their copies across availability zones. That's kind of a not very large distance, but still some distance is there. And availability set is that either you want to create a virtual machine in one zone in multiple data centers here, where if you create your virtual machine there, so its copy will be created across another data center within one availability zone, right? It could also, availability set also includes that, hey, you want to have a copy of one or two few machines across availability zones, you can do that with availability set as well. But if you want large scale deployment of your virtual machines and its copies in different availability zones, then you go for this option. If it is just small scale, you want to go cheaper a little, spend a little bit less money, you go for availability set, which is within one availability zone or few machines across a copy of those across multiple availability zones. So that's just the choice for you. Suppose there's a availability zone level outage there. So in this case, your machine will still be available, accessible from another availability zone. In this case, your machine, if there's a availability zone level outage, obviously you are sitting back and then requesting Microsoft to give you access, or just wait for them to recover. Okay, so we have talked about this. I'll just take a screenshot of that. And oh yeah, I'll just put it here. Okay, so what we can do is we can go for availability set here. Availability set. So some level of redundancy we are giving to our machines, right? So if you go for availability set, then it says, hey, you need to create a new set here. So, and then when you go to availability set, then there is create new written here, right? So first you choose availability set, then you click create new. So once you click create new here, so then you can see on the right side, you have to give a name. Then there's a fault domain written there, and there's an update domain written there. So first, let's just put your first name there, dash availability set or AS, right? So there's your first name availability set. You know what? It looks weird. So availability set. Yeah, you can just keep the AS there. Availability set. I'll just put that this way. So fault domain, and then there is that update domain. So fault domain concept, there's a I button here, right? Or there's a learn more written here as well, right? Those are Microsoft documentation pages there that just gives you an idea about what is fault domain and what is update domain. So if I click that learn more here, it just takes us to another page where it simply shows that what are the high availability so first of all, it goes for availability zone here, and it shows that with the diagram that if there's a one zone level outage, suppose you have a virtual machine here, so your virtual machines will be in zone 2 or zone 3 as well. So zone level outage, you can then recover from that, or you will still have your machine accessible. That is if you choose availability zone, and we talked about that already. And if we go for then availability set here, and that just shows that suppose this is your rack, and in the rack you have rack servers, suppose HP server, Dell server, IBM servers, right? So this is one rack, this is second rack, this is third rack. Hopefully we all know what is rack and how the servers look like. But if you go for HP rack, so these are the racks, and you can put servers. So this is a good picture showing. So these are actually switches, but you can put rack servers there as well. So there you can see all the servers and a monitor screen there. So this is how rack and servers look like. Okay, let's go back to what we're talking about. If they're going to spread your machines or copies of your machines in different racks, in different servers there. And if there's so first of all, update domain is UD or update domain, that if there's an update going on in all the machines or underlying infrastructure here on this racks, all servers, So maybe they have blades there, maybe they have rack servers there. So your machine's copy will be here as well, and you will have access to that copy number 1, copy number 2, right? So when this update is done and they restart it, so they will fail over your virtual machines here, and they will start updating this side of rack and all the machines inside. So if there's an update, they will do that. So if we go down to availability set, and then there is actually fault domain as well. This is FD0. So fault domain is that if something goes down, we can take that example of rack here as well. Suppose so fault domain, in fact it's written FD0, FD1, FD2. If this whole rack goes down, your virtual machine copy will be also in other virtual fault domains as well. And so update is that they are doing maintenance. Fault domain is if there's a crash that occurred on their side, and they still are supposed to have one copy or 2 copies of your virtual machines in other fault domains or other racks. So that's how it is. Fault domain for saving you from crash, and update domain when they're doing maintenance of their own and they need to restart. So anyway, we just talked about some of this. I'll just put that a link that explains all this here as well. Oh. Okay, so once we're there, so once you put that name here, let's just simply press OK. Let's simply press OK. Now, once you press OK here, there's that image. So it's saying that, hey, what are you installing here? Ubuntu or Windows 2016? So obviously, we're going to go for Windows Server first of all. So these are all Linux servers. We go down to Windows Server. So in our free access by Microsoft given to us, we can only have generation 1 machines there. Generation 2 machines will have more features there for redundancy, security, networking. So let's choose Windows Server 2016 Data Center Gen 1, right? And once you choose Gen 1, there's that spot instance as well. So this is just for very, very low rates, but then in spot instance, they get to delete your machines whenever they want, but it's very cheap rate. So we don't need to go for spot instances. But here, it's the, yeah, sorry, did you make any changes to the availability set? Yeah, Andrew, so if you've given a name, that's it. And then press OK. So we just put a name, okay, cool. And if you go further down here, so this availability set name should be showing here. And then in image, go ahead and select 2016 Data Center Gen 1, Generation 1. So if you have selected Windows Server 2016 Data Center, that's good. We don't need to select Azure Spot Instance. It's just for very low rate. Then you can go for bidding there and get that. But if somebody outbids you, then Azure can actually delete your machines as well. So we can go in more details for this when we actually do that Azure course separately in depth. So right now, what is the hardware you want to give? And you can see the price tag here. Obviously, you're not going to be charged for that. It's free for you. Maybe you're not seeing that, or maybe you're seeing that. So guys, do you see D2S there, underscore V3, 2 vCPUs and 8 GB RAM? Do you see this, or do you see, let me just, DS1? Oh, you see DS2 there, right? So if you see DS2, you're good. So, okay, so Amir says, Keith says yes. So this means that make sure it is not DS1. It's going to be terribly slow for you. If you see DS2, yeah, that's good. Okay, suppose it is red. So this is for no reason. So I'm just going to drop down. I'm going to select DS1. Then I'm going to go back and select DS2 again. The same thing I'm selecting again. So then, you know, that sometimes it's red for no particular reason. And you just have to select something else and then come back and select this one again. But we need to make sure that we are on D2S or V3, which has 2 vCPUs and 8 GB RAM, right? If you have that, okay, so everyone has that, that's great. Now, guys, username and password, so make sure that you don't forget this. So the better thing is we can open our notepad. So go to run on your laptop and just type notepad here. and then press OK. So temporarily we can save our information here, but obviously you need to save it somewhere good, or just remember it. So first of all, the username, you can go for obviously everything, whatever we name, we just have our name. So your first name, admin, right? So this is a username, your first name, admin, and the password. So guys, there's a class password, but you can just give your own password as well. Make sure that you don't forget it. If you want to go for a class password, so wherever I'm going to be putting password there, so it's going to be my the class password here, which is small abc, capital ABC, shift123, which is exclamation at and pound sign, and then without shift123. So this is also complex password, but you can come up with your own as well. Just make sure you don't forget it. Just save it in somewhere really secure like Facebook or Twitter. So if you forget, there are millions who can remind you. Just kidding. Okay, so here class password equals, so this is just the class password I'm giving there, and I'll just go back. So what I'm just putting here as information, so I could remember it later. So this VM has your first name, admin, and my password here is this. So I'm just, for my own reminder, I'm putting it here. If you forget, you're stuck, you're locked out of the machine, and better create a new one then. Okay, so yeah, so this is a class password. If you want to follow this, it's okay. You can make it a little changed as well, like XYZ, small capital XYZ, shift123 without shift123. Okay, so let's keep going, and I'm gonna put that. So your first the class password, small abc, capital ABC, shift123 without shift123, and well, as long as there's green arrow here, we're good. So you have put the password for the machine. Now, what we see here is that obviously it's a Windows machine, so you have to connect through RDP, and this is already suggesting the common ports. There are, if you drop down this one, there are the HTTP, HTTPS, SSH for Linux machine connectivity, and RDP for Windows machine, right? So we can have this, but we're not gonna actually select only RDP. We're gonna be, so go ahead and first click none. There is in next options. Okay, there is on WhatsApp. What was the name and value? Few steps. What was the name and value of virtual machine? I just put it up here. I think you're asking about. So there's a message in WhatsApp. So I'm just looking at that. Maybe you're asking about virtual machine here. So, oh, you have a screenshot there. Oh, are you? Oh, you're creating a VNet. That's too far. So yeah, the name was just put NAME there, and value was GBLab. You can just put GBLab, it's okay. So just put name, type name in the name, NAME, and value GBLab. Okay, so well, the thing is that if you're that far, you can just if we have gone too much ahead, then you can also follow the video, right? Okay, guys, so here we're just going ahead. Now we have clicked none here. Why? Because in the networking portion, if I go up there, there's a disk page there, then there's a networking page here as well. In the networking page, we're going to actually select what ports we are allowing for this virtual machine. Now that is called network security group. Security group works like a firewall. So when it comes, I'm going to explain what is the purpose of that. But right now, we're not allowing any traffic to this virtual machine because we clicked none here. Even RDP is not allowed, but we're going to allow that when we reach that networking page. So don't worry about that. Make sure you click none here. Even if you don't click none, you kept it clicked here, it actually doesn't matter. So and then did you bring your own license? No, we did not. So just skip this last one here. Now I'm going to go to disks. So once we click disks here, so in the disks it's just offering premium disks, and do you want to encrypt those that data as well? Default actually and at rest. Whatever data is not moving, it is just sitting there on the disk, is encrypted by default. So this is good. We don't need to add any extra disk. If we want to, we can just add it. So for the second machine, we will be adding a second disk because Exchange server is big, and we would need some extra disk space. We might need some extra disk space as well. So on this page, there is nothing that we need to change. On the disks page, there is nothing. So go down and click networking. So okay, John says go down, so I'm just gonna click previous, and yeah, for public inbound ports, guys, make sure that you clicked none. And okay, so let's click disks now. So it is this one, right? Okay, so disks, and in the disks there is no change. So we're gonna click networking. So make sure you don't make your alert here. And so first thing, which VNet this machine will belong to. So obviously your first name VNet is appearing there already. If it is, that's good. So this is what we create today. And there's only one subnet there. If there were multiple subnets, then you would have clicked that drop down and selected the correct subnet, but there's only one subnet here. So no change here as well. So third thing is that it will be given a public IP. Obviously, we need to connect from here, from our laptop to this machine. So yes, we need a public IP. So thank you, Amazon. Oh, not Amazon. Microsoft Azure. Yes, we need a public IP. Okay, this much is straightforward. Correct VNet, correct subnet, public IP. Then there's NIC, Network Security Group. So what is Network Security Group? Network Security Group is like a firewall, and what it does is that suppose you create a virtual machine here, and you need to block traffic, right? So allow block ports here. So those ports could be port 80, port 8080, or RDP, or 3389, right? Or RDP. Okay, or port 53 for DNS, or 389 for Active Directory, and it goes on and on, SSH22, right? Or 1433 for SQL databases. So you want to allow or block different type of software or application traffic or internet traffic. And also Network Security Group does one more thing. So from which destination, from which source you're coming from, and what is your destination. So it also controls that. Suppose you say that you need to connect from your own public IP, right? So then you can only connect from this virtual machine from your public IP, which is your home public IP, home DSL router public IP, or your the branch. Suppose you're in Toronto branch, so Toronto branch public IP. So you can add a specific public IP that, hey, I can connect, or anyone can connect to this machine only from that public IP, which is just the IP of a Toronto branch, suppose. Okay, so allow block any ports, and from, to and from as well. You can just configure that where is the traffic coming from and where it is going to. So to and from you can also configure that, and you can disallow as well that, hey, from these public IP addresses I'm not allowing traffic to this virtual machine. So all this you can configure in security group. So it works like a firewall. Okay, so then now what we need to do, guys, network security group, if you are dealing with more than one port, so it's not just RDP, we need to also enable ICMP. ICMP is for pinging, right? we need to ping and check if that other machine is communicating with our machine or not. So let's click this advanced here. What is advanced? Advanced means that, hey, we will be defining ourselves which type of traffic we need, network traffic we need to allow, and which type of network traffic we need to not allow, right? That you can define in the network security group. You can only create a network security group when you have clicked advanced and click create new. Let's click create new, and let's create our own network security group and define our own traffic. Hey, this we are allowing, this we are not allowing, right? So what we can do is, the good thing is, suppose you're about to create 200 virtual machines, suppose. So all those 200 virtual machines, suppose, will be allowing RDP, remote desktop protocol, and allowing ICMP, the ping, but they're not allowing anything else. Suppose they all. So you can create one network security group and connect this network security group to all 200 machines, because their inbound rules, inbound traffic coming from internet to them or from outside to that machine, if their traffic rules are same, you can just select that one network security group and attach it to as many virtual machines. Okay, so what you already see that your first name VM01-NSG is there, but what we can do is that we can simply remove this. Your first name should stay there, and then there's NSG dash. So it should be meaningful. We should know right away what is the purpose of this network security group that allows and blocks traffic to and from. So here we can just go for RDP dash ICMP. So these are the two types of traffic or protocols we will be allowing for this virtual machine and the next one, right? Later we might need to change that, and we may change the name as well when we have more kind of traffic there. So okay, so we have named it, but we haven't configured it that way, although it says RDP is already here. But you can see there's a inbound rules here and there's a outbound rules. So inbound rules, the traffic coming from outside to inside this machine. Outbound traffic leaving from this machine to outside. So we're gonna only configure inbound rules. Yep. No break today. Oh, hey, I forgot. I was so involved in that, I totally forgot. Just kidding. Okay. Well, okay, let's create that and then take a break. Yay. Okay. So, inbound rules, and I'm gonna click add an inbound rule here. Let's quickly then configure this, or we can just create this machine and then do that break, right? So add an inbound rule, and here, what are you allowing? Okay, so from where are you allowing, first of all? So if you drop down here, there are IP addresses, there's service tag. So IP address based or service tag based, you can just allow, disallow. But right now we can give any, but in production environment you would go for a specific IP, and that would be the public IP of your, suppose, Toronto branch, New York branch, London branch, whichever branch you want the users to connect from only. You can just put that public IP here. It's okay to connect from over the internet, although we will have other type of security as well. So any is okay. Port range from wherever you're connecting is okay. But when it comes to destination port, so we can just change that to 3389, which is our remote desktop protocol port. And it's going to be a TCP connection. If you put any, that is also okay, or TCP. Yes, we are allowing the RDP because we need to connect from our laptop to that machine. And then priority is 1010, which is okay. If you have 100, this is okay as well. And just make sure that the name is RDP. So that's the name here. So the only changes here on this page is destination port is 3389, protocol is TCP, and name is RDP, right? If you have done these, then click add. Right? Hopefully everyone has done that. So click add. Okay, so once that these two types of well, the RDP is added there, although it's just showing 2 times now. Yeah, we're not supposed to add it 2 times, or even if it's added, Hey, why did I add 2 times? Seriously? Okay, let's click then add an inbound rule here. Let's click again, add an inbound rule. And now we just need to add one more. And that is, in fact, you don't have to put anything here. You can select this one, ICMP. This is for pinging, right? So just select nothing up there, just here, ICMP. Yes, it is allowed, so nothing here as well. Priorities 10, 20, or whatever your priorities, it's okay, or whatever's written there, and just type here ICMP. So on this page, ICMP select and type in the name ICMP, that's all, right? So we're allowing pinging as well, so just click add here as well. Now, yeah, this is not good. I mean, 2 RDP, why did I create that? So guys, can we remove that? Just card. If I click that, and no, we can't, right? No, we can't. This card is not there. Okay. Although same rules are defined here. That is oh, right click it, right? Oh, there you go. Man, you're genius. Okay, thank you. And I'll just right click on one of the rules, or RDP, right? Don't click the ICMP, but RDP, and remove. Thank you. And that's it. So 1 RDP, 1 ICMP, you're good. Press OK. We're good, right? Press OK. And okay, so once that is done, so we have defined our own NSG or network security group as well. So the rest is accelerating network, load balancing. So yeah, not much other than that. So let's click next management. So on this page, we selected VNet, Subnet, public IP, and NSG or network security group. So let's click management now. In the management, what we need to, there is nothing else there, but one thing that we need to make sure on the management page is disable the boot diagnostics, because it creates a separate storage account that ultimately costs us. And although it's a free tier, but still just go for disable in that case. We don't need to create a storage account here. So boot diagnostics, so just disable that. Other than that, so on management, make sure that you disable that, and then everything else is off. Azure Active Directory, we don't actually have an Azure Active Directory here. Yeah, it does not support logging with AAD, Azure Active Directory. Enable shutdown, enable backup. Guess we're going to shut down ourselves, so we don't need that. Backup, we don't need that now, but later I'll ask the management if we can use backup as well. I hope it's not going to charge George Brown. Patch installation, yes, it's okay. So nothing else other than make sure that you click the disable button for boot diagnostics. Okay, if that is done, click advanced. Nothing in advanced. Extensions means that you can put some smaller software or client software for any big application like antivirus or any kind of management application. So we don't want to deploy any small client software. Your subscription is not registered to use Azure Orchestrated Patching. Oh, okay. So Cameron says that. So you. Oh, hey, I clicked previous and it's on enable then. Did I not disable that? So you don't see this as well, or it's you get an error or something, right? It's not registered to use Azure. Oh, okay. So in that case, you can go for manual. It shows, but there is an alert in blue. Oh, that. Oh, I get that too. Yeah, this is okay, guys. So OS orchestrated patching just means that they will just deploy OS patches for the OS automatically. Also, do we enable the Azure Security Center plane for free? Is that on advanced or is it on in management? Security Center plane. I don't see that in my case. If it clearly says free, okay, but if I haven't clicked it, then if you see some different options, then yeah, I won't be able to help. The first one, but it's for students. Yeah, I think, yeah, mine is pay as you go, and I'm not paying, it's George Brown's paying. but yours is actually for students. So yes, if it is free, go ahead and click that. If it enables or asks you some more questions, sub questions, then leave it. But if it's just clicked and that's it, nothing else, yeah, if you want, you can click it. So guys, I've clicked disable here, and so it keeps saying boot diagnostic is enabled after setting it to disable. Oh, so it's happening to you as well. Okay, so I click that disable. I'll click advanced, then I'll click previous. Okay, so our free package does not allow us to disable it, so it's going to do that one way or another, right? Okay, so thank you for confirming that. And no matter how many times you put disable, it's just going back to this recommended, which is, let's stick to that then. Okay guys, yeah, if it goes back automatically, we don't have to do anything here on this page. And what about the patch installation? So yeah, it is okay. If it is on OS orchestrated patching, patches will be installed by OS, which is okay. It's automatic, and yeah, it's gonna patch it, so it's okay for us. Okay, and let us go click advanced, right? Okay, so let's click advanced here. We were talking about in advanced that extensions, and we don't need that. This is smaller clients for any larger application that you have, management application, like antivirus, anti-malware, or any deployment or security application. So custom data is for Linux machines that you want to deploy some packages there. So we don't. This is not a Linux machine anyway. And then the rest of the options are, well, actually grayed out. This is a Gen 1 machine. Gen 2, let's just stick to Generation 1 machine right now. Actually, you know what? I did test that. I hope you're able to go for Gen 2 as well. Let's click Gen 2. Generation 2 will have some of the advanced features there: UEFI-based boot architecture, increased memory, and OS disk size limits. Intel Software Guard extension for just, anti-hacking attack. VMem, virtual persistent memory, so you get a bit more persistent or continuous supply of RAM if you need virtual RAM. Okay, so guys, make sure that you select Generation 2, right? On the advanced page, the only change we made is Generation 2, and let's click tags. So in the tag name, and that's just your first name, VM01. That's it. Well, for GB Exchange Lab, for GB Exchange Lab. So your first name VM01 for GB Exchange Lab. I'm just gonna Control A, Control C, and put it there in chat. So your first name VM01 for GB Exchange Lab, and click Review plus Create, where we're gonna take a screenshot now, right? So your first name VM01 for GB Exchange Lab, and then Review plus Create. So here, guys, we need to take a screenshot, but we need to go down a little where this basics information is showing. Just keep going down. So where the basics is just about to hide, but make sure the basics is showing there, and whatever else is seen here. So guys, I'm going to take a screenshot of this page where it's just giving some of the default information there. And so this is your screenshot number 3. So screenshot 3, about to create your first name VM01, and then take a screenshot. So screenshot number 3 title is about to create your first name VM01, and so screenshot 3 title is about to create your first name VM01, and then take this screenshot where your name should be showing there. Hopefully everyone got the screenshot there, and well, then let's click. I missed the resource part. Okay. So if I go previous resource part, previous. Which name should we store it? The resource part is this. If you went for resource group, it was, oh, sorry. This is a resource group, the only one there. Oh, from tags you're talking about? Okay. It's this tag, name, value. Oh, resources, we don't need to select any resource. Yeah. We don't need to select any resource here. 12 selected is okay. Whatever is the default is okay. So it just says that, hey, are you owner of these? We're not, but it's just selected. So we're okay. So if you put that name, we don't have to change anything here. And review plus create. And if you have taken a screenshot while going down and basics is up and whatever the rest of information can come while the basics is showing there, then you're good. Public inbound. Keith, you missed public inbound? So you did not create the... Did you create the network security group or not? Which name should we save it as? Okay, that's from Gideon asking. Which name should we store it? Now, Gideon, are you talking about the name tag here? And Keith, public inbound, did you create a... So first of all, Gideon, if I go to tags, are you talking about tags here? Okay, you did everything, so you're good, right? So, oh yeah, if you're talking about the screenshot, so, okay, the screenshot. So see this, screenshot 3, about to create your first name, VM01, and yeah, this is the name. And yeah, Keith, if your answer, if you got the answer, then let me know. If not, then, well, if not, then let me know. So this is a screenshot name, you got it, and I'll just switch to the other page, right? You got it, right? So it's about to create your first name, VM01, screenshot 3. Okay, so if everyone's okay, where the networking is, okay, so I'm just gonna click previous. Guys, if you're done with the screenshot, go ahead and click create and take a break, 20-minute break. So I'll go previous in networking. So Keith, you have to click advanced here, and then you have to click create new. And in the create new, what we did was we add an inbound rule. We went for ICMP, we add that, and we already have RDP, we don't need to add that. We just added one more, which is ICMP. Let me know if you want to see that. Hey, we took a lot of time doing that. Where were you at that time? So, okay, let me know if you need to see that too. Let me know. So, okay, so add an inbound rule. I'm just gonna click that, add an inbound rule, and here we selected just the ICMP here, and we selected and we typed here ICMP. That's all. So inbound rule, we selected ICMP and we named it ICMP as well, and we click the add button. That's all, and then press OK. Hopefully you got it. So guys, please do pay attention. I know at home it's a lot of distraction. So these labs are, you know, marked space, so screenshots of specific areas needed. Okay, just press OK now. Hopefully you've created that, and then press OK. Ready? I created that, and then next, management, advanced, tags. Hopefully you were able to create that, Keith. If not, then, well, I was showing, let me know. Review plus create. Then the rest should be okay, right? Hopefully you have created. Otherwise, you can give me a reason why were you not able to upload today, and then I'll give you some more time to follow the video when the video is released. or upload it to YouTube. I'll send you the link. Okay, so I'm gonna click create now here. Hopefully everyone is good now. I'm about to click the create button. If you've taken a screenshot of the basics area, this one. Okay, let's click create. I'm welcome. Okay, got it. So well, it is creating now. So it's 6:32. So 20-minute break. 6:52 class starts. Right. Okay, so break. Class starts 6:52. Okay, pausing now the video. Hey guys, hope you're back from the break. So if we go back to our diagram, so we created one virtual machine here. Let's confirm. So well, if I see the bell icon on the top right, so yeah, deployment succeeded. And we can go to resource as well. So from the bell icon, I just clicked go to resource. And second thing is that well, this machine we need to connect. Now this machine has a lot of we need to do a lot of stuff on this machine, right? So if we go back to the diagram, it is providing the main infrastructure roles, which are so Active Directory, and then DNS. We also need to create with PowerShell 390 users. Well, why 390? Why not 389? Why not 391? So, 390. Because my script just creates 390 users. That's why. It's a script limitation, not mine. So, but we're going to create those users here as well, because later we need to create mailboxes for those users. So we need to connect, do all this, and then we can go to the second machine, create that. Then we need to join that machine to this machine, and then we can do install some prerequisites for Exchange Server, and then finally we'll try to install the Exchange Server here. So for this machine, we need to connect remotely or through the remote desktop. So suppose that's our laptop here. So from there, we need to make a connection, RDP connection now, and connect to this machine, right? So let's do that. RDP now, remote desktop protocol, or RDC, remote desktop connection, and log into this machine, and then try to understand that we have public IP and private IP, and then install Active Directory DNS and everything else. So we need to do some more configurational changes there as well, so our course or lab could go smooth. So there are on VM01 we can go for like firewall of enhanced IE security of. So why? Because normally when we are doing a lab, so there are some more configurations. More prompts are being offered. That are you sure you want to go ahead? Are you sure? Are you sure? So we just need to avoid that for our training environment. In production environment, obviously we do not turn off firewall, and we do not turn off enhanced IE security as well. But there are more small tasks that we need to do once we're inside the machine. So let's first go inside the virtual machine now, and then check what else we should be doing to make this course smoother. Okay, so I'm back here to virtual machine. So I can go to the portal menu on the top left here as well, and then I go down to the actual virtual machine dashboard, right? So once I go from portal menu to virtual machine dashboard here, so I can see that, well, ignore that I have 4 more machines, but you and I are seeing just one machine that we created here. So let's click inside. And then we can just make that, so there's that machine, then there's overview there, and we can go ahead and click the connect button here. So once you click that connect button here, so there's RDP, there's SSH, there's Bastion. We talked about Bastion already, that one machine that through which you can go to other machines that have private IPs there. This is not a Linux machine, so we're not using SSH, so we're going to go for RDP. Once you select the RDP, it's just this is the public IP for our virtual machine, and this is the RDP port there. So let's click this download RDP file. So you can always double click that and then initiate that connection, right? So I'm going to click that download RDP, and it's asking where to download. It's just the machine name with .rdp extension here. So we're gonna after downloading, we're gonna double click it, and it's gonna help us to connect. Or you can just type here mstsc, and then you can also just put the public IP, and it's gonna connect you. So you don't see the connect, Eric says. You don't see connect. Eric, did you click the overview here? This one? Yeah, I'm back. So the virtual machine is great for you, right? For Kingsley and Eric. So once you click the virtual machine, you should be seeing overview on the top, and this is the connect, right? So if there's a response, if there's no response, this means I assume that you're good. I don't see it. So my guys, you still not there. Okay, so can you take a screenshot of your screen and put it on WhatsApp so I could see that? Or there's that share button here in WebEx as well. Then I could see your screen, and then I could tell you where to go and what to do. If you click that share, then I will be able to see your screen as well. Or take a screenshot and put it on WhatsApp, and I can tell you where to go and what to do. But I'm on this page, and this is Windows. Hopefully you've selected Windows machine here. And why would you not see connect? So 2 students are saying you don't see it. Now guys, obviously, how can I help you if I can't see your machine? Or either you give me a screenshot of how to take a screenshot and how to put it on WhatsApp, hopefully. Oh, okay, so Eric got it. Kingsley, what about you? And let me know if you need help. So, but you can use this WebEx and click the share. I can see your screen, or you can put the screenshot where you are, and from there I can tell you where to go. Or you can explain. So it's all about communication, guys. How quick are you in communication? Hopefully you got it. Okay, there's a photo. Alright, thank you, Kingsley. So I'll just put that photo here in front, and oh, you're in virtual network, Kingsley. So this is virtual network. You have to go to virtual machines, not virtual networks. They do look the same, but how to go there? See this? Go up to the portal menu, and this is virtual machine. You clicked here, virtual networks. You should go to this one. Cool. So once you click that virtual machines here from portal menu, then just go to overview and connect. Hopefully Kingsley also got it. Yeah.
I don't even see anything on my virtual machine. Jesus. Yeah.
See this? When you go to portal menu, do you see this? No. You don't see virtual machines in favorites. Okay. Okay, go to portal menu and go to home button. This one. Once you go to home button, I think virtual machine should be showing here on Azure services as well. Okay, yeah, that would be helpful. A picture. Okay, if we see that picture, yeah, you got virtual machines. So can you click this one? Virtual machines, this one. So once you click this, you should see your virtual machine that you just created now. Oh, he didn't make the VM. Hey, did you click cancel at the end or? So if you click virtual machine, you don't see anything there, right? So not sure. It would show under recent resources. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, if you didn't create that, which is not sure how that happened. Hopefully you were following all the steps. And if the machine is not created, so the machine normally shows here as well, recent resources like this, or virtual machine here. Once you click virtual machine, if it's totally empty, so at the end maybe you click cancel instead of create. My VM is not shown here. Okay, not here, but guys, you can see the virtual machine in the virtual machines area, right? This one. So Kingsley is showing another screenshot. Let me just put that here as well. Validation, yeah, create virtual machine. So go ahead and click create. Did you click the create button? So go ahead and click create. Then you will see the machine there. Or maybe that's a screenshot. And yeah, so from here.
That's the screenshot. I think I didn't click create. We have to do it again.
Ouch, okay. So you can, if you remember the steps, otherwise you can follow the video. Just put it on my email that this is the reason I was not able to. Just give me a reason and that's it. Because later I forget and sometimes management asks me, right? So,
okay, thank you.
And okay, Dong, hey, my VM is not. So hopefully your VM is showing where it's supposed to show in the virtual machines area. Let me know with screenshots, like Kingsley has shared the screenshots. You can also take screenshots and let me know. I can let you know what to do there. Okay, so guys, well, don't let me know if you need help. Let's try to communicate a bit faster. That's my request. So, guys, here, I'm just gonna click that your first name VM01, and then here I'm gonna click overview, and then I'm gonna click connect here, right? So don't let me know if you're having issue. So in the connect, I'm gonna click RDP, and then I'm gonna click download RDP file. Download RDP file. So I will download it in downloads folder or wherever you want to download. Just remember where did you download it. So I'll just click the download here, save. So your first name VM01, I'm just gonna click that. So once you double click the downloaded file of RDP, it initiates this remote desktop connection, right? So hopefully everyone's seeing that, or maybe some of you are already logged in. So remote desktop connection here, and let's click connect. Please go back. Okay, so Gideon says go back, and Amir Hussain shows. Oh, okay, Amir Hussain, I'll be reaching that area, then I will tell you what to do. But you need to just put your username password. Okay, so here, from here, okay. So I was in overview, then I clicked the connect, then I clicked RDP. After clicking RDP, I clicked download RDP file, this one. Once we click download RDP file, the big blue button, then on the left side, well, in order to just make sure that you're putting it in a folder that you can find it later as well, just select the downloads on the left side here. And once you select download, just go ahead and save it there. So once you click save, hopefully you're there. So once you click save here, then it downloads and simply double click that file. Simply double click that file, and then it shows this. So you can see that your public IP is showing there. Obviously my public IP is different from your public IP, and click connect. So once you click connect, so it asks for username password. So remember that I asked you to put your username password in a in that notepad for your own. How about using Mac? Ooh, I'm a totally non-Mac guy, but I have not used Mac before, and I have asked students not to use Mac because there's some extra troubleshooting. First of all, I cannot help. Second thing is maybe you can troubleshoot yourself to initiate RDP there. Guys, anyone has used Mac, and what's the question? Mincio Chui, right? So in Mac, what do you want? And hopefully anyone here has used Mac and can resolve your issue, or you can share the screenshot with me, and we could just tell you what to do, right? Let me know if you're stuck. So here, your first name, admin, I'm just going to use that as a username, and then there's the password that I'm going to use now, right? So I'll just go back here, and it is asking me to put that. So your first name, admin, and the password is small abc, capital ABC, shift123 without shift123, right? So this is what you need to type there, obviously, and hopefully you did not forget any of this. And if you're doing anything wrong and it says username password is not correct, then it's you. I mean, I cannot help that. Whatever you put there as a username password, that you have to put. If there's some error other than this, then let me know. Maybe I could be of any help. So it says this, and there you go. It doesn't let me go ahead as well. Seriously? Okay. Your credentials did not work. If it doesn't show username, click more choices. Exactly. More choices. And use different account. Well, it's the same account. Your first name. Oh, sorry, it was not I. I was writing I there. So it's AMER in my case, admin, and the password small abc equals shift123 without shift123. It ran through me. Okay, yeah. So I is okay. You took the I, Amir. So I am stuck with E now. So okay, I'm just gonna press OK. It's gonna ask again for remote desktop connection. Let me know if anyone is still you want to go through this process. You just have to put correct username, password, and then it's kind of press OK, yes. So it's just asking, it's saying that it's a self-signed certificate. Do you trust this machine? So I say yes, I trust this machine. Suppose you want to remove this error, then you can just purchase a certificate from CA or certificate authority. There's GoReady.com, there's digicert.com, verisign.com. Those sell certificates, security certificates. Certificate ranges from $200 up to $2,000. But then in production environments, normally we use the security certificate. But here, it's just self-signed certificate, which means we don't trust this. But anyway, we know this is our machine. So I'm just going to only press yes here. Can't open the RDP file on Mac. Ouch. Okay. Guys, anyone ever tried to RDP from Mac? There's another way. I mean, can you try to install VMware Workstation or VirtualBox there for Mac and then install a virtual machine inside? That's a long one. Oh, I'm sure there's a utility that lets you connect from Mac with RDP. I will have to Google it myself. So guys, it's connecting for me. Install Windows as a VM and then connect. Yeah. I'm in a different world. Okay. So VMception, Eric says. VMception, is that? Okay, so Gideon is already logged in. That's great. Okay, you're already inside that machine. Very good. And then Kingsley has shared the screen as well. And what's the name? Your first name, VM01. Your first name, VM01. Kingsley, but that's a lot of options you have to select. So, well, my suggestion is wait for the video and do it properly. Eric Nielsen, but yeah, you can ask like this and I can tell you quickly. But there are so many clicks we did and so many configurations we did. Okay, so can't open RDP, install Windows. I'm just reading VMception you're saying, and oh, okay. So that was a joke. Okay. Okay. So I'm connecting from a VM to another VM. Oh, nice. Okay, Amir says that. So guys, if you're logged into this, then you can go for local server. So hopefully the server manager is there, well, in server manager, does it show you that correct name there? Yes, I think it should. If I minimize, so in server manager I went for local server, right? And then if I minimize this, on the top right there's a minimize for server manager window here. If I minimize this, oh, it did not show up yet. This okay, right click and refresh, right click, refresh, right click. Well, normally it shows up here, the whole IP settings and everything, but I'm just gonna go, so I'll click here, click anywhere else, and then it shows me this machine. So your first name, VM01 is showing there. That's one thing. And second thing is, what is your IP and what is your host name? So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna open command prompt, and we're gonna run that command ipconfig/all, and second command would be host name. So let me just show you. If I right click here on the Windows icon on the bottom left, if I right click here, and you can see this command prompt admin, right? So command prompt admin, right click here and command prompt admin. So once you do that, so first thing is we can type host name here. There's a command called host name, HOSTNAME, just one word. If you type that, it will show your machine's NetBIOS name or host name or computer name. Second thing is you can go for a simple IP config, and so guys, the screenshot number 4 is that your host name is showing this and IP config is showing this. So your IP address is this 10.2.0, maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe 7, maybe 10, whichever. Your subnet mask is this, and default gateway is 10.2.0.1, right? So if your command prompt is showing this name and this IP is showing, then this is our name and IP configuration of our VM01. So let's take a screenshot of this command prompt with where you have run the command hostname and you've run the command ipconfig, and both results are showing clearly in the screenshot, right? How do I take a screenshot for this? I'm just gonna make this smaller or restore down here, this one. I'll drag it a little from right side here. I'll drag it down from bottom here. And then I'll click here somewhere and take that screenshot. So this screenshot name is name and IP configuration of your first name VM01. So I'm just gonna put that title in OneNote. Hopefully everyone has access to that. So it's a screenshot for name and IP of your first name VM01. So screenshot number 4 title is name and IP of your first name VM01, and this is how your screenshot should look like. Well, yeah, this is how your screenshot should look like. The host name and IP config. Hopefully everyone got this screenshot exactly like this. Okay, we've reached just 4 screenshots and it's time is already finishing. Okay, so well, either the time finishes or screenshots are 10, then we finish the class. It happened in previous batch that screenshots finished and there was still some time, so students just said, hey, that's it, 10 screenshots, that's what the deal was, and then the class just finished. Okay, okay, you saved that. I saved the third one, but it's not there. Third one is, guys, screenshot. Well, you can take that screenshot again, hopefully. Yeah, you're okay. I think those screenshots are all retakeable. Well, some of those, not all. Alright, guys, once we have done that, let's quickly go for some of the more configurations here. Within the virtual machine, we need to do some smaller configurations that would help us keep running the course smoother. So rename, we don't need to rename that. It's already named correctly. Security group is already created. ICMP protocol and everything is given. I'm just, I took my own notes as well. Generation 2, yes, it's already done. It's private IP address, we know now. And power settings, we need to change the power settings that locks us out. VM tools, we don't need to put that. IE enhanced security, I'm going to show you. And yes, guys, we need to actually download and install Chrome. Then snapshot. So let's do this one by one. So first thing is, let's just check the power settings to change the lockout time. Suppose you're idle for some time and it might lock you out because the machine is idle. So we can just change that now first. So how do we do that? If I go to my virtual machine here, so you can see on the bottom left, when you right click, you see this power options on the top, right? So hopefully everyone's following. So right click on this bottom left Windows icon and go for power options. I'm going to click the power options, and in the power option there's high performance and there's balanced here, right? Hopefully you're there. So it's already on high performance. I'm going to click change plan settings, right? Once you're on high performance and change plan settings, just double check it's never. So if it's already never, then you're okay. Sometimes it is on 15 minutes, right? Normally this is in when you're installing on premises on a physical server or virtual machine on premises, but it's already on never, which means that if it is idle for even 1 hour, it's not going to lock us out and we don't have to put username password again to unlock it. So if it's on never, it's okay. Let's just not do anything and click cancel. We just double checked it and cancel here as well. Second thing, guys, is hopefully you're on local server here. So in that local server we have this Windows Firewall. So this is public on, right? So I'm just going to click that, and we can just turn Windows Firewall on or off. So I'm just going to click this turn Windows Firewall on or off, and we're going to turn off these two profiles. We can turn them on later as well when we have Exchange server, and we can add some exceptions there as well. But right now we need everything smooth, so we're just going to turn it off. Okay, so I'll go back. Gideon, are you on server manager here? And then are you on local server? Okay, and okay, and then click this Windows Firewall public on. Once you click that, then there are two profiles that are powered on, and then two machines cannot communicate with each other unless you start adding a lot of exceptions in the firewall. So we're going to go to the left, turn Windows Firewall on or off. Hopefully you're there. And then once you click that, so there's a turn off button here, and there's a turn off button here. So click this, and press OK, right? So just in production environment, obviously you will not do that. When I was in Scotiabank, we had 2,200 servers. So the policy was to keep the firewalls on the operating system level turned off. And we had, there was so many other security utilities, tools, mechanisms there, which were enough to secure those servers. So I'm just going to press OK here. But some companies actually have the policy to keep the firewalls on operating system level. So it's up to different companies what their policy is, right? So I'm going to close this firewall window. And second thing, so it's still on. I'm just going to refresh this, right? Go ahead and refresh that. That's one thing. Second thing, what we need to do is that we need to go to this IE Enhanced Security Configuration. It's also painful because many of the labs would be Outlook web app based or browser based email client. So this really then comes in the way. I'm just going to click that, click the on written beside that, and then turn it off. So just turn off and press OK. Right? So turn off, and then OK. And I'm going to refresh here as well to see this changed as well. So once these two are done, I'll just restore down and go back to so power settings checked, IE enhanced checked, firewall checked. We're good. Let's just install the ADDS and then install the Active Directory. That's going to be a bit longer process now because, well, it takes it's time consuming, that's all. So let's go for Active Directory and DNS installation. So just make sure that we're on our way, we're doing everything correctly. So let's go for dashboard here on Server Manager. Hopefully everyone's there. So let's go to dashboard and then click add roles and features. Add roles and features. Now, okay. Once we configure Active Directory and we're at the end of it and at the summary, then we're gonna take a screenshot. We're not right now. So let's click next here after clicking add roles and features inside dashboard here, right? So let's click next. And role-based or feature-based installation, so next. And this is your first name and your IP is, private IP is actually showing here. So next. Here, we're only selecting Active Directory. Okay, so Gideon says go back. So how back? At the start, or I'll cancel. And are you on Server Manager, Dashboard, and did you click Add Roles and Features? And click Add Roles and Features. I close the firewall page. Oh, okay. Then do you see Server Manager down here? So if you see like this, then there's a Server Manager in the back, and this is called Server Manager here, and click Dashboard. Server Manager, Dashboard. Hopefully you found it. Okay. So then on the dashboard, then you can click this Add Roles and Features, this one. And once you click that, then we go for next. And yeah, it's role-based, feature-based, next. And your first name VM01, so nothing here as well, next. Okay, so we're going to select the second one, which is Active Directory Domain Services. As soon as you select that, it's going to pop up. So you're going to select that too, add features, and then keep going. So let's click Active Directory Domain Services. It pops up, and click add features as well. You don't have to select DNS here because Active Directory will install and configure at least a forward lookup zone of DNS for us. So let Active Directory do that. We don't have to do this. So just select this one and click next. So nothing in the features, click next. And yes, nothing here, click next. And yes, there is restart the destination server automatically if required. So it's going to decide. So click that. Let it decide that if there was a pending restart, then it will restart. Otherwise, it will not restart. So select this and yes. And then click install. Hopefully, I'm not going too fast. Or maybe I'm too slow. Okay, install. So at the end of it, it's going to give a link to promote this server to a domain controller. So we're going to just promote this. We're going to click that link, or it's going to show up here as well in the on the flag side that promote this server to a domain controller, or it's going to show up here as well at the end of this installation. So we're going to click that because Exchange Server can only be installed in Active Directory environment. And when we're installing Exchange Server, we're going to talk about that. It does make changes in the schema as well. And for that, obviously, our Active Directory has to be correctly installed. So, today we were able to concentrate on one machine. And then we're going to go for the second machine. Then we're going to create it with best practices. And then we're going to join it to domain. The join to domain is a tricky part. There you just have to attach or create a second network card on that virtual machine, and in that second network card you have to only go to the preferred DNS section and put the IP of the first machine, which is the domain controller, in that preferred DNS section, and also put the IP of that is provided by the Azure DNS in the second network card's preferred DNS. We make that change, then you will be able to join the domain. Otherwise, you won't be able to do that. Anyone wants to practice that? Okay. So here, guys, it is done for me. Hopefully, it's done for you as well. So there's that promote the server to a domain controller. Suppose you click the close button here, so it's here as well. Just click that yellow triangle, and then go for promote the server to a domain controller. Also, one more recommendation is for next classes, if you can have two screens there, that would be better for you. One laptop or screen, and the other is cell phone screen or tablet screen, or if you have another screen, monitor screen. So I'm going to click that promote the server or this. It's the same thing. So whichever you want. So once you click that, so it's asking for creating a new forest in Active Directory. So I'm going to select the third option here. So what is going to be our domain name? So it's going to be GB and your first name .local. And hopefully your first name is not that long. If it is very long, not very long like long, but then go for half of your first name. So your GB your first name .local and click next. It's the third option here, and your first name GB your first name .local. Okay. Again, there's a go back. So yeah, are you here, Gideon? Promote the server to domain controller. If you click close, so go ahead and click that, or click this yellow triangle, and then click this. It's the same thing. Promote the server to domain controller. Once you click that, you should be on this screen. If you're on this screen, then click the third one, which is add a new forest, and just type your domain name as GB and then your first name .local. So we're in the cloud creating our private network, and it's just local domain. So it's just local to this VNet or virtual network. So let's click next. And then, so add new forest, and then you put your domain name there. Oh, okay. Let me know where you are. Oh, back. Okay, that's as back as I can go. I hope you're there. Let me know when you're there. So there's a question. Oops. Well, the answer to that question is that this video takes time to render. Rendering takes 1.5 hours. So the video will be available tonight or tomorrow morning. Most probably tonight, after 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours. But don't worry, if you're guys, those who are back, are not on this page and way far behind, just email me that hey Teach, this was the reason that I'm not able to complete the lab today. This is the first day of the lab at least, so it's okay. Just give me a reason on email and then upload it before next Tuesday, right? Upload it before next Tuesday, all the screenshots, right? So for first week, don't worry. For the second week, don't worry. Okay, so next, and then here you need to. So it's already saying that yes, it's going to install a DNS server, and it's asking that what is the directory services restore mode password. So just give your class password there, or whatever password you want. You can give that. Just don't forget it. So to complete just this particular lab, because it's just we're also learning the format of this class, so it could be complicated for some. So you can upload this one before next Tuesday. Just wait for the video by tonight or tomorrow morning on YouTube. I'll put the link on WhatsApp group. Next. So here I put the password. That's all I did on this page, and click next. And here, nothing here. It's just saying, hey, where's the DNS? So we're in the process of installing DNS here. So we don't need to do anything on this page. So click next. And NetBIOS domain name, it's going to give a single name here or the prefix of the domain. And we can just keep it like that and click next. So no change on this page as well, and click next, right? And then these are the default paths for the Active Directory and group policy, and click no change here on this page as well, and click next. No change on this page. And this is the summary, guys. So this is your screenshot number 5. Just take a screenshot here. Active Directory about to be installed on VM01. AD about to be installed on your first name VM01. So take a screenshot here. I'll just make it restore down here first of all, and then I'll click on top here. Then I'll take a screenshot now. So screenshot of this summary, and I'll just put that with screenshot title here, and that is screenshot 5, right? How do I get that section? Oh, which section? It's the summary section. Oh, okay, I'll show you now. Screenshot 5, about to install AD on your first name VM01. So that's the title of the screenshot 5. So today I think, and I'll just put that screenshot. Do I check mark create DNS? So Brady, we're not able to do that because it's grayed out. So no, we don't have to check mark the DNS delegation. And let me go back to, here. So this is the summary page, review your selection. If I go previous, So it was this page and previous, then it was this page and previous. So there we cannot click, right? So nothing to do here. And click next. Okay. And then yes, just the single name access, and then if we click next, it's just the default path there. So screenshot number 5, hopefully, so this is a default path, nothing here as well. So this is where we are, and we took that screenshot and we named it about to install AD on your first name VM01. So that's the title of the screenshot number 5. If you have taken that, go ahead and click next and then install. So well, this is the hopefully you took the screenshot number 5, and if you're done with that, I'm going to click next now. I put that screenshot sample there as well. So guys, all your screenshots, your name must be there. If any screenshot does not have your name, then there will be minus mark there. Your name must be there in your screenshot. Okay, so I see this. There are 3 warnings here. First warning says if you have a very old Windows NT for before Windows 2000, right, then it's not going to communicate. This domain controller will not communicate securely with that. We don't have that. Second thing is saying that one of your IP addresses is not static. So it's going to still install, but it's okay. I mean, we know it's not static. It's from Azure DHCP. We got the public and private IP, so we can ignore this warning as well. And the third one is saying that, hey, where's the DNS? So yes, again, we're in the process of installing a DNS, so we can ignore this third warning as well. So after install, it's going to take some time. It's going to restart automatically. Then you have to connect again and log in from your username password again, and Active Directory will be installed. So let's click install. Well, okay, Amir, you can just email that reason, and yes, well, you still need, oh, you have a VM02 already. So whatever screenshots are missing, you can try to take those nearest areas where the actual screenshot is. Wherever possible, try to take the screenshot of the nearest configurations, and that would be okay. But yeah, try not to miss the screenshots, guys. That would be, the whole lab, because the management does ask me that why did I give marks when there are no screenshots. So that's what I told them. I give marks for screenshots, right? So I could be asked as well. So just give a reason there. I lost my screenshots. Just email me on my college email, and yes, then it's okay. But you have to upload a document, guys. There has to be a document there for me to give you marks, right? So obviously I'm going to check that document as well, your screenshot and your name, then only marks will be given. Okay. Okay, so there's a question, can it just be off the screenshots? Well, the lab's marks will be depending on screenshots. Oh, okay. It's better to put it on into the Word document, guys. Otherwise, it's not gonna be easy for me to check it in the Blackboard. You don't have to explain anything. No, you don't have to explain anything. No, the screenshot and the title. That's it. No explanation is required. Cool. And then should we send you these 5 screenshots today in a Word document? Yes. So at the end of the class, guys. So the deadline is tonight midnight, right? 11:59. That's the deadline. But those who send me an email and gave me a reason, hey, because of this I could not upload, so it's okay if the reason is legit. And for the this is the first lab we've done together. You just understood the format. So this week I am okay with if you are not able to upload the screenshots today, and before next Tuesday, just upload that. But yes, at the end of the class, those who are done, please upload. And from onwards, at the end of the class, I need all the screenshots uploaded, and if you can manage it before the midnight. And I cannot guarantee that the video will be there, but right after this course ends, class ends, I'm gonna start rendering it. So it takes 1.5 hours to convert it to MP4, so I could upload it to the YouTube channel. Okay. So where do I send the screenshots to? Yeah. So first of all, guys, you need to collect the screenshots and put it in MS Word document. Then on Blackboard, I'll be creating an upload link there. So then we will do that. So on Blackboard, I'll be creating a link there to upload. So yeah, I need to log in first for that. So I'll be doing that, but where's our domain controller right now? No need to put caption for each screenshot, right? Well, that title, screenshot 1, and I put that title. Other than that, no. So that title that I put, that is a must. Other than that, nothing else. Okay, so guys, is it restarted? Let's connect again. Hopefully by now it is. Well, it takes time to restart, so I'm just gonna click that RDP again. And connect. So your first name admin is written there. Small FC, capital C, shift 1 2 3, without shift 1 2 3. If it doesn't connect, so maybe it's in the process of restarting. Otherwise, it would be done. So I'm gonna press yes here. Oh, it's done. Sure, guys, no problem. Today, if anyone is fallen behind, it's okay. Just wait for the video, and I'll put the link on WhatsApp, and also the link is already there for the YouTube channel on Blackboard. If not, I'll put it there, so you can follow the video. And before next Tuesday, exactly those screenshots I need, so you can repeat the lab. And if anyone falling behind, just you have 1 week, but onwards, then you must have a reason, a proof of screenshots. Hey, hey, prof, I got this error or that error, and the screenshot is there. Then it's okay to upload it later in the week. If you don't have proof and you did not upload as well, then yeah, no marks or late marks. It will be considered late, right? This week, no problem. Just wait for the video, follow it easily, and reach where we are. Wow, still taking time. Oh man, there's. What I wanted was that screenshot number 6 should be that once you're logged in and it's a domain controller. But if it's taking too long, then we can stay with 5 screenshots. Okay, finally. Well, I'm logged in. Hopefully, all of you are logged in. And I can go to local server, and now it shows me it's not a workgroup, it's a domain, and that's needed. So the final screenshot is that Active Directory installed successfully, and the screenshot of local server showing the word domain and your domain name here. So screenshot number 6 would be the server manager, local server, and domain written there, and the name written there. Oh, so Gideon says mine closed, so I only have 5 screenshots. Gideon, you can just connect again. I just connected again now. It does close because it needs to restart when Active Directory is installed. So it needs to restart once. So for that, it closes. So you just have to connect again the way we connected before. Just double click that RDP file and then put your username, password, and connect, right? Or I can show you. So let me just give the sample final screenshot. Oh, you're there. Very good. Very good. So I'll just take that sample final screenshot here. So obviously in next class, next Tuesday, we will be in the position to go for prerequisites of Exchange 2016, deployment, best practices, and all the other stuff. Okay, so I'll take a screenshot of this, and the name is Active Directory installed successfully on your first name VM01. So I took a screenshot here. I'll put the title here. Screenshot 6 is the screenshot 6 is AD successfully installed on your first name VM01. So that's your title for screenshot number 6, and the screenshot is so AD successfully installed on your first name VM01. Oops, oh, it is VM. And so that's the screenshot number 6, and all the screenshots, sample screenshots, are on OneNote already. You can see it from there and simply follow it. So if that is done, guys, then at the end, please make sure that we shut down our VM. Let me show you guys. It should say shut down and deallocated, which means it's not going to charge, although it's free. So let me show you how to do that, guys. At the end, so if you took the final screenshot, which just shows domain here and the name, you're good. Now just collect your screenshots, put it in MS Word document, name that document according to, this is Week2, and COMP3102, right? So, and then upload where. I'm just gonna create that now, but let me just show you how to shut down this machine. I'm gonna go back here. So the machine is here, right? So, but I'm in the dashboard of the machine, where in the back, in the Azure, we created that machine, right? Hopefully everyone is there in the dashboard of virtual machines, and you can go for overview there. So your virtual machine, overview, and then there is a stop button here. Hopefully everyone is able to see that. Your virtual machine, overview, and stop button. So once you click the stop button here, it asks for something. Do you want to reserve the public IP address? Yeah, it's okay. I mean, even if it's different public IP address, next time we'll then simply connect from that. But yes, just checkbox, click this checkbox. Yes, I want to reserve, or whatever public IP address I got now, I want to keep that public IP address? Well, no particular reason, just selecting it this way. In production environments, yes, you may want to do that. Here, it kind of doesn't really matter, but just select it still and press OK. Hopefully everyone know where they are, where I am, and go ahead and press OK. As soon as you click stop, it's gonna stop now, and we need to confirm one thing. Did it say stopped and deallocated? The word deallocated needs to be there, which means that Azure will not charge you for that, although they're not charging you anyway. It's free, but just to know what's going on. So in the bell icon here, I see stopping virtual machine, so it hasn't stopped yet, right? Oh, you can see the status here. See this? Inside the overview, you can see the status here. So deallocating. So it's still ing. It's not id. Oh, okay. It's id now. No longer ing. Okay, stopped and deallocated. This is what we needed, and you're good. You're good to go, right? So, well, that's it. If you have, if you see that stopped and deallocated, that's it. So now we can just upload, but let me just create that quick folder so you could upload there. Sir, can I get your email address? Yeah. So my email address is this, amir.shehzad@.ca. So this is my email address. You can give me a reason, and then just wait for the video and look on WhatsApp class group, and I'll be uploading the link there. Also, the link should be there in Blackboard. So I'm just going to the Blackboard now to create that. Mail server administration. Please fill out this form. Okay. Free Microsoft Azure Portal. Oh yeah. See this, guys. On the Blackboard, the third one. All class YouTube course videos will be uploaded to this YouTube channel. Yeah. So there's that link here as well. And so expect this video in 2-3 hours or tomorrow morning. Just follow up on WhatsApp. Hey, prof, where's the video? So you can follow up as well. Okay, guys, this was week 1, so I'm just gonna quickly create week 2 now. Week 1-2020. So week 2 has been created here. I'll just go inside and assignment. Please upload. Oh, not block. Please upload week 2. Oops, no. Okay. Yeah, value must be provided. And so for this, I'll put it as before next Tuesday, 11:59. And submission details. So it's multiple attempts. 2 last will be the graded one. And yeah, it's available in track number users. Okay, guys, so refresh your Blackboard. So go to week 2, fall 2020, and click this. Please upload week 2, and just upload your MS Word document. It says what name should we save the MS Word as. So it would be your full name and the course code, COMP3102. Okay, so the other comment is, can you please put the note on Blackboard for those of us not shared the notebook? Okay, so OneNote. So guys, how many are who does not have access to OneNote? How many are there who does not have access to OneNote? If you cannot see week 1, week 2 in OneNote now, so then I can share with those. So you can just give your college ID now, and I can click the share button here. I can put your college ID there, and you will be able to see that as well. So please put your college email, and I'll put it here, and you will be able to access OneNote. Those who have uploaded and have access to OneNote and don't have any questions, bye bye. See you in next class. So I'll just stop the video now.